Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
How you going? How are we all this morning? Well, this tonight, wherever you are. Hey, out to lunch. How you going? Luna, how you going? Carl, how you going? Sherry, how you going? Alex, how you going? Danny, how you going? Michelle App, how you going? We've got Luna. Yep. Alex. Where's Eyes to See? How you going? And Faith, how you going? Okay, we've got everyone here. Oh, people will be joining, but hey, Heather, how you going? Did everyone see another thing got knocked down in Alaska? No. Oh, interesting. Okay, we're going to get into the news, and I've got a lot of time today, so that's pretty good. Just let me set it all up here so I'm not outing anyone. No, not that one. That's not what I want. And I'll show you the screen. Okay. Wow, the news is coming out really fast. We've got Project Veritas and James O'Keefe. It looks like there's a coup being done on James O'Keefe. He was the founder and chairman of Project Veritas, and he's being forced out because the corporate types have no stomach for real journalism, or because they have allegiances to a certain manufacturer. We'll follow James O'Keefe and you'll all become a hollow shell. Everyone's threatening to leave Project Veritas if they do. And they have already shown a film clip with someone else in it, not James O'Keefe. Now we're going to go into Virginia Giuffre. Okay, now this is not going to be a popular opinion, but there are some questions, okay? That's all I'm going to say. I'm not accusing anyone of anything here. All of this is alleged, and I'm just asking questions. Carol Burt said Virginia Giuffre was not a child. What about the children she trafficked to her ex-boss, Jeffrey Epstein? What about them? She was 18 and they were 14. She got paid for them being abused. Wow, that's okay with you, is it? Not you, but I mean, whoever this person's responding to. Because this is what I asked a while ago. What about all the other victims? And she was recruiting people too. Typical millennial, and now I just went for a search on Virginia Giuffre, right? I'm not biased in who I'm sharing here. They could be left, they could be right, they could be upside down, I don't know. I'm just putting forward different thoughts, because why was she all over mainstream media? You know what mainstream media are like, we all do. Why would they have reported on this? I don't think they were forced to. I think they were trying to cover something, put their spin on it, cover something else up. And Virginia Giuffre kind of does remind me of Eliza Blue a little bit, in the way that she was doing things herself, but going for the victim. Well, she went for that, you know, the money. Typical millennial said, well said, Virginia Giuffre belongs in jail. She's abused that young girl. All of it's just gross. How many accounts does that total now of VG being accused by young victims? Apparently, there are young victims accusing Virginia Giuffre of the same thing. Joan Clements said, whoops, hang on, just want to like all these ones I'm going through. Joan Clements said, whoops, you're believing allegations made by Virginia Giuffre, a woman who told the FBI she was 15 years old when she first met Epstein. They found out she was 17 years, 4 months. Okay, and I believe in the UK, I don't know if this was in the UK or not, I don't know where this was, but in the UK and in Australia, 16 is the legal age. Okay? I don't know why. In INTV, she claimed to have been assaulted by numerous prominent men, but under oath she denied this. Another one. Vernon Davis said Virginia Giuffre has reportedly signed a multi-million-dollar book deal. Watch the people with book deals. To disclose details about her interaction with financier Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew when she was a teenager. And there's an article there, but I won't go into that. But anyway. La La Land said, what bothers me about Virginia Giuffre is the fact that she recruited girls as well. Hello. Twitter's doing this rubbish again. Knowing they were going to be abused when by Epstein and Co., just as she was. Was she 18 or even older when she went scouting? Now, they're good questions. And we're all trying to find the truth, so you have to question everything. Agnes N. said, so in the next deposition in May 2016, Virginia Giuffre again said that she had been trafficked to some Spanish foreign president, but she couldn't remember his name. Starts on page 11, printed pages on the scanned documents, 3 out of 3. Now, here's the court listener. Let's have a little look. Okay, I don't want to read the whole thing. How many pages? 89 pages. I can't read that. But I have gotten some people who have read it. Prince Andrew, Skelpy22 said, Prince Andrew's accuser, Virginia Giuffre, has been seen in public for the first time in a year. Oh, the money was good to her, wasn't it? And who said that she got £12 million? Was that the mainstream media? Because I'm hearing it may not be true. Kayla said, what is BS? That is that Virginia Giuffre falsely accused Alan Dershowitz of attack, because unfortunately that's 100% true in her own words. She has said it wasn't true. Not saying she's lying about Andrew, but due process is definitely needed, and I'm all for that. Let's find out who was who in the zoo, because it is a bloody zoo. Agnes N. said, if Virginia Giuffre claims it was hell, why, after she escaped from Epstein to live in Australia, she didn't contact police to save other girls left behind? Particularly that Virginia claims she personally recruited many girls, including underage girls. No anonymous call to police? And I think these are valid questions. Kayla also said, quick question, I don't know who she's talking to here. What would you call a woman who publicly and falsely accused an innocent man of assault? Because that's 100% fact. Virginia Giuffre made a false accusation of attack against Alan Dershowitz, confirming it on Netflix. This cannot be denied. I'm telling you, these people lie, okay? Mainstream media lies. And if you see a clip with someone saying something, I advise you to go and watch the full length of the thing, because the mainstream media have a habit of clipping a certain part of an interview or something to make the person look really, really bad. Go and get the full context, because context matters. Kirby Summers, I'm not having a go at you guys, I'm just talking general, you know. Kirby Summers said David Boyce became involved in representing Virginia Giuffre in 2014, according to Bradley Edwards' book Relentless Pursuit. Boyce was still representing Weinstein and hired Black Cube in 2015 to silence Rose McGowan, Ronan Farrow, and other women who stepped forward. Facts. Is there more to this? David Boyce also represents the Clintons, and he represented Conrad Black, an associate of Jeffrey Epstein. There's more. Leslie Wexner sat on the board of directors for Black's Hollinger International, and he too was represented by Boyce. Now take this all with a grain of salt. Like I said, it's up to you. I'm not telling you what to believe, I'm just asking questions, because there are questions here that need to be asked. Kimberly said, in the wake of revelations of Eliza Blue's fabrications on her claims of being a sex trafficking victim, there is another person who might join that club of grifters. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Virginia Giuffre, Nee Roberts. And Nee means, I think, also known or formerly known as. And Eliza Blue, today or yesterday or whenever it was, has changed her story. She's now saying that everyone who's reporting on her is trafficking her. Don't ask me how that works, because that is mental gymnastics, okay? Okay, anyway, let's get into this one. You may or may not have kept up with the case involving her and Prince Andrew, so here's a quick rundown. Now, I'm not saying Prince Andrew's a good guy. I am not saying that. You know what I think about the royal family. Anyway, in 2019, she filed a civil lawsuit against him for assaulting her in 3 places, UK, New York, and the USVI, all while being under the duress of Mr. Epstein. I'm just going to try and go back, make sure that my comments stay where they are so I can read them. The case ended up going nowhere, as they both agreed to a settlement which, despite tabloid headlines, was never disclosed. So we don't know whether she got £12 million, £1 million, a couple of 100,000, who knows? In fact, when the amount was reportedly revealed, it wasn't anywhere close to the figure they initially estimated. Oh, so they did. $6 million, £5 million. Oh, it's between £3 million and $5 million, sorry. It was not £12 million. Okay, let's go through here. Sources, NBC and the Daily Beast. Not that I trust them, but, you know. Virginia Giuffre and Prince Andrew have reached an out-of-court settlement. David Boyce, Giuffre's lawyer, said in a letter filed to the court, the parties will file a stipulated dismissal upon Ms. Giuffre's receipt of the settlement, the sum of which is not being disclosed. The rumour was that Prince Andrew paid Virginia Giuffre to the tune of £12 million. Now, the Sun on Sunday reports that figure is dramatically lower, between £3 to £5 million, which is between $3.6 and $6 million US, I believe, which would be even more here in Australia, but anyway. A source told the paper it was thought and widely reported that Virginia got a settlement of £12 million from Andrew, but that's not right. It was far less than that, as low as £3 million. No doubt this will have influenced the conditions of the agreement she was prepared to sign. That means the lower figure Giuffre agreed to also left the option open for her to write a tell-all book about her experiences. Giuffre claimed Andrew had attacked her 3 times when she was 17, being trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew denied the accusations emphatically, and their February agreement contained no admission of liability or apology by him, while acknowledging Giuffre was a victim of abuse. As I said, I'm just letting you know. This makes sense considering that Virginia is rumoured to have a book deal in the works. Watch the people with book deals. But what's interesting about this is that she already has one out, long before she filed a lawsuit against Prince Andrew. This was, January 25th, 2023. Virginia Giuffre gets book deal weeks before Prince Andrew's abuse settlement gag order to lift. Yep, well, apparently she already has one out. I'm not going to play that. It's called The Billionaires Playboy Club. While it was never officially published, it was used as evidence in a civil lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell back in 2015. It's here we start questioning Virginia's accusations against Prince Andrew. And again, the court listener. I'm going to have to go through this court listener thing and see if I can kind of compact it down into a video. Kimberly said, point 1, as you can see in chapter 11 of her book, she describes her outfit indicated by the arrow. This seems to correspond to the outfit she was wearing in the now infamous photo, but there seems to be a problem with that description. Remember this photo? Well, apparently he's 6 foot something and she's 5 foot nearly nothing. So, that doesn't really add up either. Anyway, okay, where am I up to? Where the arrow is. After trying on all 3 outfits and many mental debates with myself, I decided on the pink mini tee and dazzling pair of denims with horses embroidered into a pattern. It seemed a lot more my style and age group rather than the other 2 older looking sophisticated dresses I had picked out. Hang on, what's that got to do with anything? I told myself I was going dancing at a club, not to an opera. As most young girls can be during their body changes into womanhood, I felt awkward, you know. Big feet, freckles and body hair in unwanted places. They're things you just don't want when you're 17. And then you see these iconic billboards of what femininity is supposed to represent. Just don't fit into that picture, blah, blah, blah. In chapter 10 of her book, Virginia described her outfit when she attended Naomi Campbell's birthday party, which took place on a yacht. I wonder if she was a yacht girl. See arrow. However, there are pictures online that show Virginia at the event, but wasn't wearing the outfit she described. Okay. Where am I? Where is this? We went back to the hotel. I gave Jeffrey a massage in his room before we all headed down to the pool to soak in some of the year's first sun rays. I loved wearing my new ball gown and feeling like a princess. It was absolutely sensational and made me feel as if I floated in the dress. I swept up my long hair in a twisted clip, only letting down a few curly strands, and layered on the mascara, receiving many compliments throughout the evening. When we eventually left the yacht to make our appearance at the main birthday bash, I couldn't help but feel excitement for the party to come. It was the first celebrity birthday bash I'd ever been to. Being introduced to model after model and the rich men that followed them around became dizzying. Jeffrey sat back and watched as I buoyantly worked the dance floor. So let's have a look. I can't see anything here. It looks like the same. Is it the same t-shirt? But that was at the Naomi Campbell thing? I don't know. Why did Virginia describe herself wearing an outfit that contradicts what she actually wore to Naomi's birthday party? Oh, okay, so she said she wore the party dress, but she didn't. She wore that pink singlet. Well, whatever you call it. What do you call it in America? You know. Oh dear, and why is it the same outfit to what she described when she was at the tramp club with Prince Andrew? Let's put a pin in that and move on to the next point. In the infamous photo, you see Virginia and Prince Andrew close together, while Ghislaine is in the background. Have you ever wondered what their heights were? Let's stick to Prince Andrew and Virginia, since they're in the same spot when this picture was taken. A quick Google search will tell you that Prince Andrew is 6 foot or 1.83 metres. Yes, I looked up Prince William instead because he's so damn tall and I always wanted to know what his height was. Now I know. Why? He was 6'3", okay? But, yep, Prince Andrew is 6 foot. So how tall is Virginia? Well, the sources I found ranges her height from 5'4" to 5'8", 5'8", okay? But we can figure out the height of her lawyer, David Boyce. He stands between 171 to 172 centimetres, I'm going to say, because I just butchered that, which is around 5'7". As you can see, she is shorter than him regardless of if she's wearing heels. Okay? So you can see she's quite a bit shorter than the 5'7". Okay, it's nearly half a head. Now, against Prince Andrew, that should be a full head, I'd say. I'm going to sneeze. Hang on, guys. Okay, sorry. Is there a case to prove against the validity of the photo concerning the height gap between Virginia and Prince Andrew? Let's put a pin in that and move on to the last point. I believe there should be a whole head here of difference. That's just me. I don't know. This photo was the key piece of evidence in this case, but there has been talk about an original. According to Virginia, she asked Jeffrey to take a picture of her and Prince Andrew so that she could show her mum that she met him. Source, Independent UK. That made me sick. I just didn't expect it from royalty. She earlier told the Mail on Sunday that the four of them went upstairs at Maxwell's flat and she asked Epstein to snap a picture of me with the prince. I wanted something to show my mum, she said. Andrew, who denies any wrongdoing, has questioned the photograph's authenticity. Like I said, I'm not sticking up for Prince Andrew because you know what I think of the royal family. Virginia always claimed that the image is authentic, and with the help of journalist Sharon Churcher and photographer Michael Thomas, she gave the original to the FBI in 2011. However, there have been new reports on the validity of the image. Source, Independent UK. Miss Giuffre has always insisted the image was authentic and said she gave the original to the FBI in 2011. The Independent has approached the FBI to verify this. If it was fake, then why is Prince Andrew not suing? Miss Giuffre broke off all contact with Epstein and Maxwell after meeting her husband Robert Giuffre in Thailand in 2002. By 2011, she'd settled into a new life in Glendenning Valley, a small coastal town about 66 kilometres north of Sydney, Australia. She's not far from me. Rumours of a new FBI investigation into Epstein's offending led Mail on Sunday journalist Sharon Churcher to trace Miss Giuffre halfway around the world to a new home. Michael Thomas, a freelance photographer from New Zealand, travelled to Australia to meet Miss Giuffre and recalled her casually pulling the picture of Prince Andrew from a bundle of photographs she had held onto. It was a normal print that you would get back from the chemist at the time of negatives, Mr. Thomas told the Independent by email. Michael said that he made copies of the photo before the Mail on Sunday took it to the FBI. However, the whereabouts of the original remains a mystery. Great. Mystery still surrounds the whereabouts of the original photograph of Prince Andrew with his accuser, Virginia Roberts. In February 2011, Mail on Sunday reporter, drove Miss Roberts to the US consulate in Sydney, Australia, where she met two FBI agents. She handed them a collection of snaps, including the print showing her with Ghislaine and Andrew, and they gave it back to her after making a scan. It appears, however, to have gone missing. When quizzed by attorney Laura Menninger during a legal deposition in 2016, Miss Roberts said, "I probably still have it. It's not in my possession right now." When pressed, she added it was probably in some storage boxes in Sydney and suggested it could have been at a relative's house in the Australian city. Last year, a source connected to Ms. Roberts told the Daily Beast website the picture is not in Virginia's possession. So which one is it? Okay. Last year, the source connected to Miss Roberts told the Daily Beast the picture is not in her possession. The website claimed that no one on Roberts' legal team knew where the photograph was, nor indeed had any of them, ever seen it. Let's pause for a minute. If Virginia claims she gave the original to the FBI in 2011, why did she say in 2016 that she probably still has it? Because she gave it to them and they gave it back to us, so she's saying she gave it to them? I don't know. And to make things even stranger, around the time she settled with Prince Andrew, she apparently lost the original photo. It may not exist. Ah dear, Duke of York's lawyers had requested access to the original image of him and Virginia Giuffre to check whether it was fake. Andrew's legal team had reportedly hoped to use the photographic expert to study the item in a bid to discount it as credible evidence. But an unnamed source close to Miss Giuffre's legal team told the Daily Telegraph She no longer has it in her possession, although they insisted it did not mean the photograph was lost. Well, why can't someone just go and get it and sort all this out? Another insider told the Daily Mail they weren't certain the original picture still existed. Miss Giuffre, also known as Virginia Roberts, gave the original photo of her Prince Andrew and Maxwell to the FBI in 2011 and claims it is authentic. If the Eliza Blue situation has taught us something, it's that some people will have no hesitations in going as far as making up or embellishing stories to gain any sort of clout, money or validation they're looking for. These people need to be called out, and they do. This is just one of the reasons why I'm doubting Virginia's accusations outside of Jeffrey and Ghislaine. If you'd like me to do more threads on her, let me know. Yes, please do. Then we got another one. Okay, what's this one? From Jay Beecher, a thread warning, assault references. Journalists refuse to show you Virginia Giuffre's memoir. Here are excerpts showing who she had accused. Men, women, even Paris Hilton's dad. Let's start with her sleeping with Prince Andrew in New Mexico. She later admitted it never happened. Oh dear God, I can't read. I'm going to have to go through the whole thing, okay? Here she writes about being trafficked to Paris Hilton's father, Rick Hilton, later admitted it didn't happen. Worth noting here that in this entire memoir, Virginia doesn't write that she spent time with Prince Andrew on Epstein Island. Then when she was found to have lied about having relations with him in New Mexico, she claimed she had an orgy on Epstein Island with Andrew and 8 girls. After journalist Sharon Churchett told her to add Alan Dershowitz in her memoir, Virginia thanked her and got to work. This is the only time Dershowitz is mentioned. Years later, in her paid-for interview with Netflix, she claimed she'd slept with him 6 times. He's now suing her, and apparently she's already admitted it didn't happen. Here, Virginia writes accusations about husband and wife Glenn and Eva Dubin. Bottom left is a response from their spokesman. Upon finding out the Dubins had flight records, etc., Virginia stopped accusing them and hasn't mentioned them ever since. Here, Virginia claims she was made to have a same-sex relation with Alexandria Cousteau, the granddaughter of famous... Jack Cousteau, yep, okay. After writing this, and after years later, Alexandria reading it and issuing the blow statement, Virginia never mentioned the claim again. The allegations by Virginia Giuffre nee Roberts regarding Miss Cousteau are 100% false. Cousteau's lawyer said in an email, Miss Cousteau had never had intimate relations with Giuffre and does not ever recall having met such a person. Miss Cousteau and her organisation also never received any financial contributions whatsoever from Mr. Epstein or his company. This thread could go on forever, showing the many ever-changing accusations Virginia Giuffre has made over the years. For anyone who wants to read the full memoir, there's a document cloud, and I'm going to bookmark that again, just so that I don't skip over. Oh no, I haven't bookmarked that one in the first place. Okay. Canberra said in 2020, Texans kept Republicans in charge of the Texas House and Senate. A few state congressmen call Speaker Dade Phelan the most Republican just appointed 8 Democrats to committee chairmanships. A pro-BLM Democrat will now oversee criminal law. Great, that's all you need. Another Democrat will chair a committee to oversee youth health and safety. Can you believe this crap? We're fighting gender mutilation and indoctrination in Texas that the Democrats support, but the most Republican appointed a Democrat to oversee this committee. That's insane. You've got to watch who you're voting for. And if they can't tell you what a woman is, then do not vote for them. If they have pronouns in their bio, do not vote for them. Check them right out. Jack Posobiec said 14-year-old high school freshman takes her own life after 4 classmates brutally beat her in school hallway and posted to social media. Social media is ruining children severely. Adriana Kush was walking down the hallway when a female student repeatedly hit her in the face with a water bottle. After she fell to the floor, the female student continued pulling her hair and punching her in the head. At least 2 students could be heard off camera cheering them on. And the people cheering them on should be held accountable as well, just as much as the person doing that is, or should be. Who knows these days? The school did not contact police after the attack to file a report. Other students report the 4 girls had been doing this frequently at school to make videos for social media. This is where we have a problem. Huge. Kids are doing all sorts of screwed up things to try and make a viral social media post. And God help us. Clandestine said, buckle up. The Biden administration via Department of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, I can't say his name properly, just initiated a political hit job disguised as an investigation on Elon Musk. And you'll never guess what they're accusing him of. Trafficking hazardous pathogens. US Department of Transportation says it's investigating Elon Musk's brain implant company Neuralink over the potentially illegal movement of hazard pathogens. Well, then, if that's going to happen, this can be used against Klaus Schwab wanting to chip humanity, and Bill Gates as well. Why not? Let's throw them all in there, the WEF. Ah, dear. Secretary Pete initiated an investigation into his political adversary, Musk, over an email from an animal welfare advocacy group, claiming that monkeys Neuralink were using for trials may have carried infectious diseases in violation of federal law. So they're going at him any way they can. They really don't want free speech, do they? So let me get this straight. Elon restores free speech and I expose Biden's role in the deep state biological network in Ukraine, right, attached. Then Biden's cabinet opens an investigation into Elon over alleged pathogen trafficking over an email from an animal rights group. Okay, Clandestine says, now I'm really going to blow your mind. This is another thread, inside a thread. Remember the leaked phone call from Biden to Poroshenko in November 2016? I remember. Do you remember? Right after Trump was elected, Biden was trying to cover his tracks in the UK because he was afraid Trump was going to look into the dealings there. Remember when he says he's sitting down telling them all that he got that prosecutor fired? Yeah. What is this?
November 16, 2016, 2 weeks after Donald Trump's victory, Joe Biden is on the phone with Poroshenko.
Sorry, I can barely hear that. I don't know if you can. Clandestine saying, mind you, the Russian and Chinese military have been formally accusing Joe Biden of biological malfeasance, negligence, bioweapons production, pathogen trafficking, etc. for over a year, and the US government still claim this is Russian disinformation, while conspiracy stuff. This is psychological projection by the Biden admin. In an attempt to counter that, the deep state biological network in Ukraine is now in public view. Their response was to manufacture a misleading headline with provocative buzzwords, obfuscation and deception. Jeez. The animal rights group accused Elon's company of potentially dealing with research monkeys that may have carried potentially dangerous pathogens. Not accusing Neuralink of creating pathogens. The real question is, where does Neuralink get their monkeys from? You'll also notice that Secretary Pete got the email from the animal rights group this morning, immediately opened an investigation, and by 1:30 p.m, a Department of Transportation rep had already reached out and told routers about it. Wrap up, Smee. So the Biden admin will immediately open an investigation into Elon Musk over email complaints from an animal rights group. But the Biden admin ignore when Russia and Chinese military want to investigate Hunter Biden's biolab company in the UK, studying dangerous pathogens. Secretary Pete and Joe Biden just perpetrated an egregious abuse of executive power, need to be impeached from their positions, and the adults need to be put back in charge. The clown show has gone on long enough, and the people are no longer buying the BS. I agree. Up to here. We've had it. Up to here, right? Jan Summers said, let us be. Hundreds of tiny white butterflies in her backyard lately. I've never noticed so many before. Strange days indeed. And for the last month or so, I've noticed the white butterflies in my yard, and not just one, like there's little groups of them, and they're flying, they're just doing what some birds do, they fly around each other, and also little black and orange ones. Okay, just, I don't know why I threw that in there. Why did I bookmark it? Chook said, what is with her soulless eyes? Clown World, Australia's new ambassador for gender equality. Are you ready for this one? It's a bit creepy.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Copus Campbell, Australia's new ambassador for gender equality. I'm incredibly honoured to take on this role as the lead international advocate for Australia's commitment to gender equality and the human rights of women and girls and persons of diverse gender identities. In this role, I'm committed to listening to those who are dedicated to promoting gender equality and learning about the perspectives and priorities in communities and countries in our region and globally. Promoting gender equality is the right thing to do, but it's also the smart thing to do. It is central to Australia's diplomatic, economic development and regional security, as well as our international engagement. I look forward to working with partners in Australia, in the Pacific, in Southeast Asia and globally to progress the Australian government's priorities to increase women's economic empowerment, women and girls' leadership, and to end sexual and gender-based violence, to improve access to health and education services, and progress the women, peace and security agenda.
Does that mean she's going to stop men from going to female prisons? I don't know. There's something wrong with that lady anyway. Did you see her eyes? It's a really intense... I don't know. That was an intense stare. But she also sounds part American. She's got a little bit of Australian accent with an American accent, I noticed. But that's, I don't know. That was weird. Stephen said, if white Western culture is so bad, why is everyone trying to migrate to Western countries? I haven't seen anyone try to migrate to China, Muslim or African countries. Have you? Where are the waves of people going if it's so good? I don't know. Just asking. Josephine Cashman said how to laugh at this analogy to explain the voice to Parliament. Okay, you ready for this? It's pretty much what it's about. A few months ago, I spotted Indigenous Australian Minister Linda Burney by chance at a Chinese restaurant. It gave rise to a hypothetical conversation. What if the waiter explained the menu to Burney in the manner she responds to questions about the voice model? The waiter, okay, good evening and welcome. I'll be taking your order. Burney said, thank you. Could I please have the prawn dumplings to begin with, followed by the Mongolian lamb? And the waiter says, sorry to interrupt, but we've revised our ordering process. This is our new menu. Hands a leather-bound folder to Burney. Burney opens the folder, revealing only a single page. There must be a mistake. Where are the dishes? The waiter said, look under the heading. The Burney says, the heading says food, there's nothing listed underneath. The waiter said, it's what we call a principle-based menu. I'll put you down for food for one, shall I? And Burney says, I'm sorry, but is this a joke? The waiter says, I can assure you this new menu will be to your liking. The food will be delicious, it will nourish, it will enrich, and it will bring diners together. Burney says, look, this doesn't have to be a complex question. What dishes are you offering? The waiter says, you don't like the new menu? Burney says, how can I like it when I know nothing about it? The waiter says, of course you will like it. The food is delicious, it nourishes, it enriches, and it will bring diners together. Burney says, so you keep saying, but how do I know what I'd be getting? Waiter says, there's a wealth of information available on Chinese cuisine, which you can read for yourself. I suggest you start with Classic Chinese Dishes by T. Karma and M. Langton. Burney says, this restaurant endorses that book? The waiter says, no. Burney says, but nonetheless, this restaurant serves the dishes contained in that book? The waiter says, I didn't say that. Burney says, then what's the point in reading it? The waiter says, it will help you understand that the food we serve is delicious. It will nourish, it will enrich, and it will bring... Burney says, will you stop saying that? If you can't answer simple questions, then forget it. You're not getting my business. Waiter said, "I urge you not to be divisive. After all, the Asian owners of this restaurant have generously extended their hand and asked you to walk with them on this journey. You don't want to be associated with xenophobes, do you?" Bernie says, "That's preposterous, and by the way, you don't even list prices on the menu. What's this going to cost me?" The waiter says, "It's not our policy to reveal our prices up front. But don't worry, you'll find out eventually." And that is what The Voice is to Australia. This is how confusing it is, okay? If you thought this was bad, they're not telling you what's inside The Voice. They want you to vote for it without knowing what's inside it, which is like eating at a restaurant where you don't know what the food is, how much it costs, and it shouldn't go through, okay? So it was a little bit of a funny... It was weird, but it was a little bit of a funny way to try and describe it. Candace Owens said the Eliza Blue story is really interesting and a lot of people are picking up on it now. Absolutely absurd. She thinks she can sue people to cover her tracks. And I'm definitely going to look further into this and report on it. So I can't wait. It should be coming out today sometime. So I'm waiting. We might check in at the end on that. Someone remind me. Because these people sue people to cover their own tracks. You get what I'm talking about, don't you? Virginia suing to maybe cover her own tracks to look like a victim. She was one of them. Marie said asthma, diabetes, ulcers, insomnia, bronchitis, tonsillitis, hay fever, gonorrhea, nausea, just to name a few. Oh, and this one, parasitic infections. From 1850 to 1936, cannabis was used as a primary medicine for more than 100 separate illnesses and or diseases in the US. Cannabis indica. There you go. So there you go. Yeah, before the pharmaceutical companies came in. The Gateway Pundit said Hunter Biden's lawyer rejects House committee documents demand and says committee lacks a legitimate legislative purpose and oversight basis. Well, what was the J6 committee? And documents. And bullshit. Sorry. Anyway, they're rejecting it. Hunter Biden's lawyer is rejecting them asking for the documents. Something big's going to blow soon. You can just feel it. Seriously? LGT Mike Flynn said surveillance under the skin. Don't believe it? Listen to those who are advising the New World Order globalist elites of the World Economic Forum. And what they said I found quite interesting. Previously, almost information about you, I think they mean previously almost all information about you was on the outside of the skin. Okay, were they doing that with chemtrails? Is that what chemtrails was about? The metallic particles? I don't know, but I just found that really interesting. Previously, almost all information about you, what was outside the skin, but the future's going to be inside. Now, don't forget, this is the World Economic Forum talking about this. I wouldn't put it past them. Nick Adams said, wow, a follower of mine just sent me this photo of Times Square. Can anyone confirm if this is real in New York, please? Times Square? Is that real? It could be Photoshop. I'm not sure. Someone tell me if that's real, please, or not. Anyone in New York? Hey, Alex said, Rep Colin Allred asked if J6 was an act of domestic terrorism. Former FBI agent Thomas Baker said it was an act of lawlessness. There was a lot of property destroyed and there were crimes committed by trespassing. I don't know if that rises to the level of terrorism. Let's have a listen for ourselves.
Tone here. Do you agree that the attack on the Capitol on January 6th was an act of domestic terrorism?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Do you agree the attack on the Capitol on January 6th was an act of domestic terrorism?
I don't think I'm in a position to judge that. It was an act of lawlessness. There was a lot of property destroyed.
You're here as an expert,
and there were
sir.
crimes committed
based on your experience.
by trespassing. I don't know if that rises to the level of terrorism, quite frankly.
There you go. They said it, and one of them said it. The opinionated black woman said, laugh my effing behind off. Okay. Being woke is a full-time job. I don't know who these guys are, but this was funny. Ready? The mental gymnastics again. Get ready.
It's a full-time job. First thing in the morning, last thing at night.
We were one of the first people to actually make the ultimate sacrifice for the Ukrainian war.
Did you volunteer to fight?
No.
Nope.
Offer to take in a family?
Nope.
Offer money?
Nope.
We actually changed our profile pictures to Ukraine flag.
Yeah. I think I'm starting to understand how Martin Luther King felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Changing the world one profile picture at a time.
How does that help?
We stand with Ukraine.
That one's pretty obvious.
You're coming across a little bit far right questioning this.
Will you be changing it to Yemen or any other country under attack?
Wouldn't have thought so.
No. You should never underestimate the power of social media.
Yeah.
For example, during COVID, there was a neighbour on our street who refused to clap for the NHS.
Absolute scumbag, if you ask me. They should have been refused treatment and probably haven't even changed a profile picture to the NHS.
I know.
Sorry, I just...
It's all right. I know, I understand. When this happened, we acted immediately.
Yeah.
We plastered a picture of this person's house and their personal details all over social media.
Yeah.
Within minutes, the bins were burnt on the front of their house. The tyres were let down on her car and her house was egged. That's people coming together for a cause.
That's a community.
Yeah.
Did anyone check if she had a valid reason?
No, by the way, they didn't check. Why is Twitter doing this to me? You little buggers.
We are part of a group
Yeah.
that if we see something online that we disagree with, we make it our business to intercept that and to ruin people's days.
Social justice warriors.
For example, someone here, Jesus Christ, someone here has put that they're having a lovely day and basically saying what a nice, beautiful day it is. I mean,
It's
sorry.
inconsiderate to people that aren't having a nice day.
Well, I'll tell you something right now. There's hurricanes happening on the other side of the world.
Are they having a nice day?
Thank you. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely disgusting. So what we're going to do is we'll immobilise and we'll make sure that we attack them. I can see now someone is already making a meme about this person's wife. And to be honest with you, it serves her right for being married to an absolute scumbag.
It's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Is that not bullying?
Whoa, easy. No, how exactly can it be bullying? Right, I'll have you know, I share the Caroline Flack Be Kind meme weekly.
Sometimes daily.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
I'm a good person.
Well, people think, and they're wrong, we don't just sit behind computer screens all day, you know. In fact, today, we're actually off to a climate change demonstration, so we'll be doing that later as well.
Where at? Big oil, gas companies, cruise line operators?
No, we're going to the local bypass to sit on the floor and stop normal people getting to work by looking entitled and slightly miserable.
The face is key. You've got to get the right face.
Yeah. Then we're off to the shop to pour some milk out.
That's how we save the polar bears. Yeah. I just want to say on behalf of both of us, I think I can speak for both of us.
Yeah.
I really, really hope that we've inspired the next generation to join us on our journey. Thanks.
Should we go in your Land Rover or should we go mine?
Fuck it, let's take both. Yeah.
And that's pretty much what SJWs are like. That was supposed to be a comedy of it, like. But yeah, that's pretty much the mental gymnastics they do. Rage Against the Vaccine said, it's the worst pandemic in human history, they said. I'm not going to play the music. But remember all the nurses dancing and doctors, and I wonder how they had time during such a bad pandemic. Seriously, if there was a pandemic, not only would they be wearing full biohazard suits, right? But they wouldn't have time to be doing this shit that they did. My God. Where's all the emergency? Hello? Where's the ambulances and the people going in and hello? You're supposed to be looking after patients, not dancing. You idiots. These were, I think these were staged. These are actors, just with costumes on, just dancing. And people were, yay! And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, red pills are yummy. Says freezes Trump insulin order when he came in. Remember that? Raises insulin prices. Then he drops the insulin price to $35 and he takes credit for it. He raises it to drop it and takes credit. That's what most shops do when they're selling you things. Thanks, Deb. Most shops will put the prices up to then put them on special. So you think you're getting a deal when really not. Chook said, there's nothing private anymore. Rage Against the Vaccine said, just like a strawberry milkshake, only crunchy. Just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy. Well, this one, Daily Mail Online, uterus-shaped cereal claims to normalise conversations about periods at the breakfast table. Look, I don't want to talk about that at the breakfast table. Do any women want to talk about that at the breakfast table? I don't think so. I don't think I'd be able to eat. No, thank you. What? Why? Why? Okay. Elijah Schaefer said, why are we not talking about Lady Gaga having a young girl vomit on her chest during a performance? What the hell? Ew. I don't even want to watch that. But it was blue or green coming out of her mouth. Like she had something in there she was trying to break to make it come. I don't know, but it was disgusting anyway. Even the thought of it's disgusting. The opinionated black woman said, try gender. It's cultural, you know. Oh, dear God. Here we go. Ready?
I'm glad you asked. Let's talk about it. So tri-gender and the way you identify in it can be very heavily based on your culture and your cultural background. For example, I know in Hawaiian culture, there are 3 genders. There's a third gender. I forget what it's called. I'm sorry, but if you happen to be Native Hawaiian, you could identify as that third gender and then man and woman. Or if you happen to be, from Native Hawaiian background and on the other side you have a different background that also has a third gender, you can identify as those 2 non-binary genders. And then take your pick if you want man or woman or not even another non-binary gender. But all in all, it comes from your cultural background. So for me, I come from a very heavy Dutch background and American background. So for me, it's more based on if there's man on one side, woman on the other, and non-binary is somewhere in the middle, and then I take up that whole area, the whole bar there. And I know for a lot of people, non-binary is a completely separate spectrum, and that's just not my experience, but I still think that that's a valid experience to have. It all depends on your experiences and your personal history, I hope this answers your question. Let me know if you have any more questions, and I'd be happy to answer them. Oh, I think I forgot to mention, for those of you who are newer here or just don't know, I identify as tri-gender. This is my trans identity, and I am a man, a woman, and non-binary. So, take that bar again, man, woman, non-binary. I just take up the whole bar. And it's different from gender fluid because the gender identity never changes or shifts where one gender identity is stronger than the other or anything like that, I'm very happy to talk about this stuff, so please don't feel like any of your questions are too weird or anything like that for me. But of course, do try to phrase them in the politest way you can. Alright, with that, I will see you soon. Bye!
Look, I really feel sorry for this person. Or seriously, I really, really do, but she lost me after the first sentence. first few words. And that just turned into mumbo jumbo of, I don't even know what she was trying to say. I don't know. If you can make sense of it, you can tell me, please, in the comments. Ian Miles Chong said, why does she think this is a good idea? Now, here we go with Madonna again. I don't know. She's doing some dancing to some song. I'm not playing the song. But why? Why Madonna? She still looks like that, what is it, Jigsaw from the Saw movie. She looks like the Borganoff twins. She looks like a puppet, a Muppet. It's the Muppet Show with your very special guest introducing Muppet Madge. Okay, Lauren Bobert said it's time to subpoena Anthony Oh, look, seriously? Let's go. Seriously. Craig Kelly said we must never allow Facebook, YouTube or Twitter to ever again censor free speech. They're still doing it. We need laws to recognise these big tech platforms are the modern day town square. Those laws should be simple. If it's lawful to say it in the town square, it's unlawful for big tech to censor it. If freedom of speech is taken away, then the dumb and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. Let's see. Oh, hang on. This is one of those oversight committee on the Twitter execs. It's got music. Of course it does.
Effects from the vaccine. It wasn't the first shot, but it was the second shot that I now developed asthma that has never gone away since I had the second shot. I have tremors in my left hand, and I have the occasional heart pain that no doctor can explain, and I've had a battery of tests. I find it extremely alarming Twitter's unfettered censorship spread into medical fields and affected millions of Americans by suppressing expert opinions from doctors and censoring those who disagree with the CDC. I have great regrets about getting the shot because of the health issues that I now have that I don't think are ever going to go away. And I know that I'm not the only American who has those kinds of concerns. Another example of what Twitter has done to censor folks is from Dr. Martin Koldorf, a Harvard-educated epidemiologist who once tweeted,
I could get in big for this. I just realised. I'm going to stop it there for now. Hodge Twins says China is shining green lasers down to Earth from space from their satellites. This was near Hawaii. This doesn't seem good. I don't know. The balloon apparently was going over Hawaii as well. Okay? So I don't know if you can see that. But apparently that balloon was collecting data. Okay? And then it blew up after it reported it all, apparently. I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. ALX said breaking the first weaponisation of the federal government committee hearing, chaired by Jim Jordan, opens with an outline of dozens of FBI whistleblower complaints. Let's have a little listen to this.
November 18th, 2021, an FBI whistleblower discloses to Republicans on the House Judiciary that the FBI created a threat tag for parents voicing their concerns at school board meetings. April 26, 2022, another FBI whistleblower discloses that the FBI employees are being run out of the Bureau for attending conservative political events. May 11th, 2022, another FBI whistleblower discloses that dozens of parents with the threat tag designation to their name are investigated by the FBI. This also happens to be the same whistleblower who said the FBI leadership, not the rank and file members, the FBI leadership is rotted at its core.
Oh, of course Twitter would do that. Yeah, it is.
Dozens of parents with the threat tag designation to their name are investigated by the FBI. This also happens to be the same whistleblower who said the FBI leadership, not the rank and file members, the FBI leadership is rotted at its core. His clearance has been revoked and he's been suspended. June 7th, 2022, another FBI whistleblower is retaliated against after giving feedback on an anonymous survey. July 27th, 2022, another FBI whistleblower discloses that agents are pressured to reclassify cases as domestic violent extremism cases to hit self-created performance metrics. September 14th, 2022, an FBI whistleblower discloses that the FBI views the Betsy Ross flag as a terrorist symbol. September 19th, 2022, another FBI whistleblower discloses that the Washington field office is deliberately manipulating January 6 case files to make it appear that domestic violence extremism is on the rise. He's been suspended. November 4th, 2022, another FBI whistleblower discloses the FBI accepts private user information from Facebook without the user's consent, and information is from only the conservative side of the political spectrum. This is only a sampling. In my time in Congress, I have never seen anything like this. Dozens and dozens of whistleblowers, FBI agents coming to us, talking about what's going on, the political nature at the Justice Department. Not Jim Jordan saying this, not Republicans, not conservatives, good, brave FBI agents who are willing to come forward and give us the truth. And this is just the FBI.
There you go.
November.
Still got the DOJ. Who else? The what do you call it? NSA. God knows who else. DC Drano said Biden, we will end Nord Stream 2. Nord Stream 2 gets blown up. Daily Mail, we have exclusive report showing Biden blew up Nord Stream. People, pretty sure Biden blew up Nord Stream. Media, putting puppets saying Biden blew up Nord Stream. Remember he said it? Ready?
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer
CGI Biden.
A Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly? Since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control.
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it. If Russia invades.
Okay, I was sorry, I was too busy looking at Biden, who looks like he's been CGI'd on here, or green screen or something. I don't know, that's a bit of a really dark line. I don't know, it looks funny. Okay, Chook said, how embarrassing for the Queensland Police Force. 9 News on the Gold Coast says, breaking, a major police chase is unfolding on the M1 in the Tweed region after reportedly starting in Queensland. You ready for this? More than a dozen police cars, have been pursuing a black Mercedes southbound on the motorway after someone was spotted hanging out of the vehicle. Are you ready? Now this is a motorway. It's supposed to be going really fast, right? They can't catch him. How embarrassing. Oh, if I was the police, I'd be highly embarrassed at that. Look at it. And at that slow speed, you could probably, get in front of them and stop them without hurting this person too much. What a weird report. Chicago Rays said, a quick update from the People's Republic of Chicago, is it? Lori Lightfoot is in huge trouble here. Let's hope so. This is what liberalism ends up doing to you. The same person. Oh dear God, look at her. She used to look like that. And now she looks like this. Is someone playing a part? What's going on? She isn't leading in any of the wards throughout the city. Even lakefront Liberals are not happy with the crime. There you go. The Vigilant Fox said, see you in 2032. Fauci admits it could take 12 years to understand the true safety signal for a new product. Now let's give it to thousands of people, and then you find out that it takes 12 years for all hell to break loose. And then what have you done? Yeah. What does he say about this?
If you take it and then a year goes by and everybody's fine. Okay, that's good. Now let's give it to 500 people. And then a year goes by and everything's fine. Say, well, then now let's give it to thousands of people. And then you find out that it takes 12 years for all hell to break loose, and then what have you done? 12 years for all hell to break loose, and then what have you done?
Yeah, what have you done, mate? What have you done? You idiot. Okay, Big Bird said, what is socialism? Here's a bit of a lesson in socialism, okay?
Let me tell you a scary story.
Hey, let me tell you a scary story. An economics professor at a local college made a statement that she'd never failed a single student before, but had recently failed an entire class. The class had insisted that socialism worked, that no one would be poor and no one would be rich. A great equaliser. The professor then said, okay, we'll have an experiment in this class. All grades will be averaged and everyone will receive the same grade. No one will fail, but no one will receive an A either. After the first test, the grades were averaged and everyone got a B. The students who studied hard were upset, and the students who studied little were happy. At the second test rolled around, the students who studied little studied even less. The ones who studied hard decided they wanted a free ride too, so they studied little. The second average test result was a D. No one was happy. When the third test rolled around, the average was an F. And as the test proceeded, the scores never improved. As bickering, name-calling and blame all resulted in hard feelings, and no one would study for the benefit of anyone else. To their great surprise, all failed. And the professor told them that socialism would ultimately fail, because when the reward is great, the effort to succeed is great, but when the government takes away all the reward, no one will try or want to succeed. And that is socialism, my friends. A race to the bottom. So anyone who wants socialism, what is it? The creed of ignorance and the gospel of envy is inherent virtue. Its inherent virtue is the equal sharing of misery. So anyone who wants socialism, heading for a dystopic future, I'm telling you now. I meme, therefore I am, said 23 Baltimore schools have 0 students proficient in math per state's test results. Baltimore County Public Schools spends $14,883 per student each year. It has an annual revenue of $1,891,725,000, yet kids can't do math at their grade level. Reminder, Baltimore is Democrat-run. It's a Democrat-run state. There you go. And they're not passing anything. Steve Mudflat McGrew says she sets fire to Twitter executives. Are you ready? Let's have a listen to this one.
Mr. Roth, have you communicated with government officials ever on a platform called Jira? Yes or no? Real quick answer. We're on the clock.
Not
yes
to
or
the
no?
best of my recollection.
Not to
no.
your recollection? Great. If you did, in the event, communicate, who would have had access to this platform?
That's the nature of my confusion.
Okay.
Jira is...
Did you ever speak to government officials on Jira regarding taking down social media posts?
Again, not to the best of my recollection.
Can you explain to me why the federal government would ever have interest in communicating through Jira, mind you, a private cloud server, with social media companies without oversight to censor American voices? I want to let you know that this is a violation of the First Amendment, and the federal government is colluding with social media companies to censor Americans. Mr. Chairman, I ask for unanimous consent to submit these graphics into record. And Mr. Roth, I'm going to refresh your memory for you. This flowchart behind me. Thank you, Chair. This flowchart shows the following federal agencies, social media companies, Twitter, leftist nonprofits, and organizations communicating regarding their version of misinformation using Jira, a private cloud server. On this chart, I want to annotate that the Department of Homeland Security, which has the following branches: Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also known as CISA, Countering Foreign Intelligence Task Force, now known as the Misinfo, Disinfo, and Malinformation, MDM. This was again used against the American people. The Election Partnership Institute, or Election Integrity Partnership, EIP, which includes the following: Stanford Internet Observatory, University of Washington Center for Informed Public, Graphica, and Atlantic Council's Digital Forensic Research Lab, and potentially, according to what we found on the final report by EIP, the DNC. The Center for Internet Security, CIS, a nonprofit funded by DHS, the National Association of Secretaries of State, also known as NASS, and the National Association of State Election Directors, NASED, and in this case, because there are other social media companies involved, Twitter. What do all of these groups, though, have in common? And I'm going to, again, refresh your memory. They were all communicating on a private cloud server known as Jira. Now, the screenshot behind me, which is an example of one of thousands, shows on November 3rd, 2020, that you, Mr. Roth, a Twitter employee, were exchanging communications on Jira, a private cloud server, with CISA, NASS, NASED, and Alex Stamos, who now works at Stanford and is a former security officer at Facebook, to remove a posting. Do you now remember communicating on a private cloud server to remove a posting? Yes or no?
I wouldn't agree with the characterization.
I don't care if you agree. This is your stuff. Yes or no, did you communicate with a private entity, the government agency, on a private cloud server, yes or no?
Oh, bugger.
Yeah, I'm on time, yes or no?
Ma'am, I don't believe I can give you a yes or no.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that you did, and we have proof of it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is joint action between the federal government and a private company to censor and violate the First Amendment. This is also known, and I'm so glad that there's many attorneys on this panel, joint state actors. It's highly illegal. You are all engaged in this action, and I want you to know that you will be all held accountable. Miss Gaddy, are you still on CISA's Cybersecurity Advisory Council? Yes or no?
Yes, I am.
Okay. For those who have said that this is a pointless hearing, and I just want to let you guys all know, we found that Twitter was indeed communicating with the federal government to censor Americans. I'd like to remind you that this was all in place before January 6th. So to say that these mechanisms weren't in place and to make it about January 6th, I want to let you know that you guys were actually in control of all of the content, and clearly we have proof of that. Now, if you don't think that this is important to your constituents and the American people from those saying that this was a pointless hearing, I suggest you find other jobs. Chairman, I yield my time.
Well done. Oh. Well done. Marie said Harp can engineer earthquakes. Mother Earth is a frequency and energy, and so are we. He who controls the weather will control the world. Lyndon Johnson. Now listen to this.
Frequency. What we used to do is beam radio waves into the ground, and it would vibrate any strings that were present in the ground. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's natural gas. We might get a sound back like, and we say that's crude oil. We were able to identify each frequency. We accomplished this with just 30 watts of radio power. If you do this with 1 billion watts, the vibrations are so violent that the entire piano would shake. In fact, the whole house would shake. In fact, the vibrations could be so severe underground that could even cause an earthquake. Frequency.
There you go. Frequencies can cause earthquakes. Avi Yamini said, watching the former Twitter regime, especially Yoel Roth, squirm at today's hearing is the most delicious thing. Watch this. Another one.
Tweets. Is that with a Twitter email chain. Under the line, it's more to review from the Biden team. Does anybody have a comment on how much interaction was happening with the Biden team at Twitter with respect to tweets that they wanted Twitter to review? Ms. Gaddy, Mr. Roth?
I'm not familiar with this email.
So you're not familiar with this email, Mr. Roth? Are you familiar with this email?
Only from what's been reported in the Twitter files.
Did you ever have contact with anybody from the Biden team?
No, sir, I did not. We explicitly separated the teams that would interact with campaigns from teams like mine that were responsible for content moderation.
How big was the organization in Twitter that was actually working with campaigns?
I couldn't say for sure.
Did you ever have any contact with the DNC?
Directly? No, I did not.
Did anybody at Twitter have any contact with anybody at the DNC?
I think it's likely that somebody at Twitter did, yes.
In these emails, it's listed these are tweets that had to be flagged from the Biden team. That's what's in the files. You have no idea how many people actually engage with the Twitter team or how frequently that engagement happened.
No, and again, that was by design. We kept those functions separate from content moderation so that we could impartially assess reports like this.
Do you know how many tweets were actually flagged and taken down at the behest of the Biden team?
I wouldn't agree with the characterization of it as being at the behest of them. These tweets were reported, and Twitter independently evaluated them under its rules.
But the email is very clear. More to review from Biden.
Oh, for goodness sake, Twitter, what are you doing?
That's what's in the files. You have no idea how many people actually engage with the Twitter team or how frequently that engagement happened.
No, and again, that was by design. We kept assess reports like this.
Do you know how many tweets were actually flagged and taken down at the behest of the Biden team?
I wouldn't agree with the characterization of it as being at the behest of them. These tweets were reported, and Twitter independently evaluated them under its rules.
But the email is very clear. More to review from Biden team. The response 3 hours later at the bottom, hold this up real quick so we can see. The request at the bottom, it says, handled these. What does handled these mean?
My understanding is that these tweets contained non-consensual nude photos of Hunter Biden, and they were removed by the company under.
Hold on, real quick, Mr. Roth. How could you know so much about the content of these tweets? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, these are just web addresses. I don't know what's in these tweets. You have these things committed to memory that you know the content, but you don't know who you talk to at the Biden team?
Sir, I didn't meet with the Biden team, but there was extensive public reporting about these tweets specifically that uncovered what they were.
You know the contents tweets.
Oh, wow, he did really well. Good on this guy. Excellent. Liz Churchill said dictator Trudeau is hijacking Canada's healthcare to implement global digital IDs and is also demanding doctors report their unvaccinated patients even though the vaccinated are injured, disabled and dying. Welcome to the Great Reset. Red pills are yummy, said the swamp did not get drained, but the water got low enough for us all to see all the hideous creatures. And it did. They've all been exposed. Aussie Bot said, get the pedo off the stage. What the hell did he say? What did he say?
Name me a world leader who changed places with Xi Jinping. Name me one. Name me one. Name me a world leader.
Why is he yelling? And why is he saying, name me a world leader who's traded places with Xi Jinping? He hasn't. Why? What? Okay. Don't forget, some people voted for that. Chook said, sharing is caring, peeps. Try not to throw up your lunch when you see this. Clown world, here we go. Oh dear God, Sam Smith. Oh dear God. Okay, real quick. There you go. I can't even. I can't even. Matt Couch said conservatives that are bad apples are trying to take down James O'Keefe. Make no mistake about it. This will all come out. Project Veritas Board of Directors removes James O'Keefe and puts him on paid administrative leave. Look, without James O'Keefe, there is no Project Veritas. This is what they do. They infiltrate. And they kick out the conservatives. Because they've got a board of directors and all that, you know, so they're the ones doing it. Come on, man. Said, Labor were warned by the Five Eyes Alliance in 2022 that the Chinese cameras in government offices were being used by the CCP to spy on Australian business. The other countries immediately acted to remove them from sensitive areas. Labor, once again, did nothing. So Joe's letting them spy over there in America. Our stupid government here is letting them spy here. Ronnie Jackson said apparently devout Catholic Joe Biden is using his FBI to target Catholics. Wow. The FBI has truly become the enemy of the people. They've actually declared war on Christians now. Unbelievable. Well, they had a while ago, but they're going harder now, going after Catholics as well. Malcolm Roberts says, tragic, troubling, another cost of the world's worst lockdown regime. 9 News Melbourne, Victoria has recorded the highest number of deaths by taking themselves out since records began, with the most substantial rise in people aged 65 and older. We've got old people committing suicide. Mate, that's bad. I think they're having trouble affording to live, or they don't want to live in this society that whoever's creating is creating. We need to get back to some sanity, mate. Seriously. Juanita Broderick said, has Pfizer bought Project Veritas? It's a good question. Or have they just bought the people that work on the board and apparently what they did was they've accused him of some bad behaviour, right? Apparently 16 people signed a letter, but only one of them was accusing him of anything, and the rest didn't see anything, but they're just signing it anyway. What the hell? Like, seriously, it doesn't even make any sense as to what they're doing. Attorney General Andrew Bailey, says, I want Missouri to be the safest state in the nation for children. We have received disturbing allegations that individuals at Transgender Center at St. Louis Children's Hospital have been harming hundreds of children each year, including by using experimental drugs on them. A lot of them are doing it. 2 weeks ago, we began an investigation into these shocking allegations. We've already received a sworn affidavit from the whistleblower and documents that support her allegations. Missouri's DSS and DCI/PI are assisting the investigation. I thought I was saving trans kids. Now I'm blowing the whistle. This is a person from the Pediatric Gender Clinic who saw what was going on and actually decided to say something. Should we read this? There were more than 100 pediatric gender clinics across the US. I worked at one. What's happening to children is morally and medically appalling. This lady's a 42-year-old St. Louis native, a queer woman, and politically to the left of Bernie Sanders. Her worldview has deeply shaped their worldview has deeply shaped their career. They've spent their professional life providing counselling to vulnerable populations, children in foster care, sexual minorities and the poor. For almost 4 years, they worked at the Washington University School of Medicine Division of Infectious Diseases with teens and young adults who were HIV positive. Many of them were trans or otherwise gender non-conforming, and they could relate. Through childhood and adolescence, they did a lot of gender questioning themselves. They're now married to a trans man and together are raising 2 biological children from a previous marriage and 3 foster children they hope to adopt. That led to them to join in 2018 as a case manager at the Washington University Transgender Center at St. Louis Children's Hospital, which had been established a year earlier. The center's working assumption was that the earlier you treat kids with gender dysphoria, the more anguish you can prevent later on. This premise was shared by the center's doctors and therapists. Given their expertise, I assumed that abundant evidence backed this consensus. During the 4 years I worked at the clinic as a case manager, I was responsible for patient intake and oversight. Around 1,000 distressed young people came through the doors. The majority of them received hormone prescriptions that can have life-altering consequences, including sterility. This person left the clinic in November of last year because they could no longer participate in what was happening there. By the time they departed, they were certain that the way the American medical system is treating these patients is the opposite of the promise we make to do no harm. Instead, we are permanently harming the vulnerable patients in their care. Today, this person speaking out, they're doing so knowing how toxic the public conversation is around this highly contentious issue and the ways that their testimony might be misused. They're doing so knowing that they are putting themselves at serious personal and professional risk. Almost everyone in their life advised them to keep their head down, but they cannot in good conscience do so. Because what is happening to scores of children is far more important than their comfort, and what is happening to them is morally and medically appalling. Soon after their arrival at the Transgender Center, they were struck by the lack of formal protocols for treatment. The center's physician co-directors were essentially the sole authority. At first, the patient population was tipped toward what used to be the traditional instance of a child with gender dysphoria, a boy often quite young who wanted to present as, or who wanted to be, a girl. Until 2015 or so, a very small number of these boys comprised the population of pediatric gender dysphoria cases. Then across the Western world, there began to be a dramatic increase in a new population. Teenage girls, many with no previous history of gender distress, suddenly declared they were transgender and demanded immediate treatment with testosterone. This person certainly saw this at the centre. One of the jobs was to do intake for new patients and their families. And when they started, there were around probably 10 such calls a month. When they left, there were 50, and about 70% of the new patients were girls. Sometimes clusters of girls arrived from the same high school. Peer group, peer pressure. This concerned them, but they didn't feel as they were in position to sound some kind of alarm back then. There was a team of about 8 people, and only one other person brought up the kind of questions this person had. Anyone who raised doubts ran the risk of being called transphobe. Well, throw them all at me, I don't care. The girls who came to us had many comorbidities: depression, anxiety, ADHD, eating disorders, obesity. Many were diagnosed with autism or had autism-like symptoms. A report last year on a British paediatric transgender centre found that about 1/3 of the patients referred there were on the autism spectrum. Frequently, our patients declared they had disorders that no one believed they had. They had patients who said they had Tourette syndrome, but they didn't. They said they had tic disorders, but they didn't. They said they had multiple personalities, but they didn't. The doctors privately recognised these false self-diagnoses as a manifestation of social contagion. They even acknowledged that taking yourself out has an element of social contagion, but when they said the clusters of girls streaming into their service looked as if their gender issues might be a manifestation of social contagion, the doctors said gender identity reflected something innate. Thank you, Shannon. To begin transitioning, the girls needed a letter of support from a therapist, usually one they recommended, who they had to see only once or twice for the green light. To make it more efficient for the therapist, they offered them a template for how to write a letter in support of transition. The next stop was a single visit to the endocrinologist for a testosterone prescription. That's all it took. When a female takes testosterone, the profound and permanent effects on the hormone can be seen in a matter of months. Voices drop, beards sprout, body fat is redistributed, sexual interest explodes, aggression increases, and mood can be unpredictable. Their patients were told about some side effects, including sterility. But after working at the centre, this person came to believe the teenager was simply not capable of fully grasping what it means to make the decision to become infertile while still a minor. Side effects. Many encounters with patients emphasised to me how little these young people understood the profound impacts changing gender would have on their bodies and minds. But the centre downplayed the negative consequences and emphasised the need for transition. As the centre's website said, left untreated, gender dysphoria has any number of consequences, from self-harm to taking themselves out. But when you take away the gender dysphoria by allowing a child to be who he or she is, we're noticing that goes away. No, it doesn't. The studies we have show these kids often wind up functioning psychosocially as well or better than their peers. There are no reliable studies showing this. Indeed, the experiences of many of the centre's patients prove how false these assertions are. Here's an example. On Friday, 1st of May 2020, a colleague emailed me about a 15-year-old male patient. Oh dear, I'm concerned that the patient does not understand what bicalcitonamide does, I responded. I don't think that we start anything honestly right now. Just a blocker, it will cause breast development. The family seems certain that was their first choice of therapy to start with. Thank you, Luna. The statement made in the letter at times seems scary, so she wants to move slowly but eventually sees herself as being on estrogen. Is concerning and wrote the name at the end. What do we do now? I don't think we start anything honestly right now. I think this letter is saying wait more time, and yes, I think that blank does not understand what that medication does. Okay, that medication, this one here, is it Bic or bicalcitonamide, is a medication used to treat metastatic prostate cancer, and one of its side effects is that it feminizes the bodies of men who take it, including the appearance of breasts. The centre prescribed this cancer drug as a puberty blocker and feminizing agent for boys. As with most cancer drugs, this one has a long list of side effects, and this patient experienced one of them, liver toxicity. He was sent to another unit of the hospital for evaluation and immediately taken off the drug. Afterward, his mother sent an electronic message to the transgender centre saying that they were lucky her family was not the type to sue. How little patients understood what they were getting into was illustrated by a call they received at the centre in 2020 from a 17-year-old biological female who was on testosterone. She said she was bleeding, having a period of some sort. In less than an hour, she had soaked through an extra heavy pad, her jeans, and a towel she had wrapped around her waist. The nurse at the centre told her to go to the emergency room right away. We found out later this girl had intercourse, and because testosterone thins the tissues, the canal had ripped open. She had to be sedated and given surgery to repair the damage. She wasn't the only laceration case they've heard about. Other girls were disturbed by the effects of testosterone on their areas, which enlarges and grows into what looks like a microphallus or a tiny penis. They counsel one patient whose enlarged area now extended below her wow, how do I say this? And it was hanging out, and it chafed and rubbed painfully against her jeans. I advised her to get the kind of compression undergarments worn by biological men who dress to pass as female. At the end of the call, I thought to myself, wow, we hurt this kid. You don't say. There are rare conditions in which babies are born with atypical genitalia, cases that call for sophisticated care and compassion, but clinics like the one I worked in are creating a whole cohort of kids with atypical genitals, and most of these teens haven't even had any relations yet. They had no idea who they were going to be as adults, yet all it took for them to permanently transform themselves was 1 or 2 short conversations with a therapist. Being put on powerful doses of testosterone or estrogen, enough to try to trick your body into mimicking the opposite sex, affects the rest of your body. I doubt that any parent who's ever consented to give their child testosterone, a lifelong treatment, knows that they're also possibly signing their kid up for blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, and perhaps sleep apnea and diabetes. But sometimes the parents' understanding of what they had agreed to do to their children came forcefully. Hello, be advised that I'm revoking my consent for this course of medical treatment. Grades have dropped. There's been an inpatient behavioural health visit, and now he's on 5 different medications, Lexapro, Trazodone, Buspar, etc. Blank is a shell of his former self, riddled with anxiety. Who knows if it's because of the hormone blockers or the other medications. I revoke my consent. I want the hormone blocker removed. Thank you. Oh dear. Neglected and mentally ill patients. Besides teenage girls, another new group was referred to us, young people from the inpatient psychiatric unit or the emergency department of St. Louis Children's Hospital. The mental health of these kids was deeply concerning. There were diagnoses like schizophrenia, PTSD, bipolar disorder, and more. Often they were already on a fistful of pharmaceuticals. But this was tragic. This was tragic but unsurprising given the profound trauma some had been through. Yet no matter how much suffering or pain a child had endured or how little treatment and love they had received, our doctors viewed gender transition, even with all the expense and hardship it entailed, as the solution. Dear God. Some weeks it felt as though almost our entire caseload was nothing but disturbed young people. For example, one teenager came to us in the summer of 2022 when he was 17 and living in a lockdown facility because he'd been abusing dogs in a really bad way. He had an awful childhood. His mother was a drug addict. His father was imprisoned. He grew up in foster care. Whatever treatment he may have been getting, it wasn't working. During our intake, they learned from another caseworker that when he got out, he planned to reoffend because he believed that dogs had willingly submitted. Somewhere along the way, he expressed the desire to become female, so he ended up being seen at our centre. From there, he went to a psychologist at the hospital who is known to approve virtually everyone seeking transition. Are these the type of people who are ending up in female prisons as males? I don't know. I'm just asking a question. Then our doctor recommended feminising hormones. At the time, I wondered if this was being done as a form of chemical castration. That same thought came up again with another case. This one was in spring of 2022. thank you, Shannon, and concerned a young man who had intense obsessive compulsive disorder that manifested as a desire to cut his penis off after he masturbated. Oh, this patient expressed no gender dysphoria, but he got hormones too. I asked the doctor what protocol he was following, but I never got a straight answer. In loco parentis, another disturbing aspect of the centre was its lack of regards for the rights of parents and the extent to which doctors saw themselves as more informed decision makers over the fate of these children. In Missouri, only one parent's consent is required for treatment of their child, but when there was a dispute between parents, it seemed the centre always took the side of the affirming parent. Of course they would. My concerns about this approach to dissenting parents grew in 2019 when one of our doctors actually testified in a custody hearing against a father who opposed a mother's wish to start their 11-year-old daughter on puberty blockers. I had done the original intake call and I found the mother quite disturbing. She and the father were getting divorced and the mother described the daughter as kind of a tomboy. So now the mother was convinced her child was trans. But when I asked if her daughter had adopted a boy's name, if she was distressed about her body, if she was saying she felt like a boy, the mother said no. I explained the girl just didn't meet the criteria for an evaluation. Then a month later, the mother called back and said her daughter now used a boy's name, was in distress over her body and wanted to transition. This time, the mum and daughter were given an appointment. Our providers decided the girl was trans and prescribed a puberty blocker to prevent her normal development. The father adamantly disagreed, said this was all coming from the mother, and a custody battle ensued. After the hearing where the doctor testified in favour of transition, the judge sided with the mother. Oh my goodness. Wow. I want my breasts back. Because this person was the main intake person, they had the broadest perspective on our existing and prospective patients. In 2019, a new group of people appeared on the radar: desisters and detransitioners. Desisters chose not to go through with the transition. Detransitioners are transgender people who decide to return to their birth gender. And there is a lot of this, and there is also a higher risk of taking themselves out after they have transitioned. Believe me, the rate goes up, it doesn't go down. The one colleague with whom I was able to share my concerns agreed with me that we should be tracking desistance and detransition. We thought the doctors would want to collect and understand this data in order to figure out what they had missed. We were wrong. One doctor wondered out loud why he would spend time on someone who was no longer his patient. But we created a document anyway and called it the red flag list. It was an Excel spreadsheet that tracked the kind of patients that kept my colleague and me up at night. One of the saddest cases of detransition I witnessed was a teenage girl who, like so many of our patients, came from an unstable family, was in an uncertain living situation, had a history of drug use. The overwhelming majority of our patients are white, but this girl was black. She was put on hormones at the centre when she was around 16. When she was 18, she went in for a double mastectomy, what's known as top surgery. 3 months later, she called the surgeon's office to say she was going back to her birth name and her pronouns were she and her. Heartbreakingly, she told the nurse, I want my breasts back. The surgeon's office contacted our office because they didn't know what to say to this girl. My colleague and I said that we would reach out. It took a while to track her down, and when we did, we made sure that she was in decent mental health. She was in decent mental health and she was not actively planning to take herself out, that she was not using substances. The last this person heard, she was pregnant. Of course, she'll never be able to breastfeed her child. Get on board or get out. My concerns about what was going on at the centre started to overtake my life. By spring 2020, I felt a medical and moral obligation to do something, so I spoke up in the office and sent plenty of emails. Here's just one example. On January 6, 2022, I received an email from a staff therapist asking me for help with a case of a 16-year-old transgender male living in another state. Thanks, Shannon. Parents are open to having patients see a therapist but are not supportive of gender, and patient does not want parents to be aware of gender identity. I'm having a challenging time finding a gender-affirming therapist. I replied, I do not ethically agree with linking a minor patient to a therapist who would be gender-affirming with gender as a focus of their work without that being discussed with the parents and the parent agreeing to that kind of care. In all my years at Washington University School of Medicine, I had received solidly positive performance reviews, but in 2021 that changed. I got a below average mark for my judgment and working relationships cooperative spirit. Although I was described as responsible, conscientious, hardworking and productive, the evaluation also noticed at times Jamie responds poorly to direction from management with defensiveness and hostility. Things came to a head at a half-day retreat in summer of 2022 in front of the team. The doctors said that my colleague and I had to stop questioning the medicine and science as well as their authority. Then an administrator told us we had to get on board or get out. It became clear that the purpose of the retreat was to deliver those messages to us. The Washington University system provides a generous college tuition payment program for long-standing employees. I live by my paycheck and have no money to put aside for 5 college tuitions for my kids. I had to keep my job. I also feel a lot of loyalty to Washington University. But I decided then and there that I had to get out of the transgender centre, and to do so I had to keep my head down and improve my next performance review. I managed to get a decent evaluation, and I landed a job conducting research in another part of the university, Washington University School of Medicine. I gave my notice and left the transgender centre in November of 2022. Now, what this person wants to see happen. We're nearly at the end of the article. For a couple of weeks, they tried to put everything behind them and settle into their new job as clinical research coordinator, managing studies regarding children undergoing bone marrow transplants. Then they came across comments from Dr. Rachel Levine, a transgender woman who is a high official at the Federal Department of Health and Human Services. The article read, Levine, the U.S. Assistant Secretary for Health, says that clinics are proceeding carefully and that no American children are receiving drugs or hormones for gender dysphoria who shouldn't. Well, this person felt stunned and sickened. It wasn't true, and they know from deep first-hand experience. So they started writing down everything they could do about their experiences at the Transgender Centre. 2 weeks ago, they brought their concerns and documents to the attention of Missouri's Attorney General. He's a Republican, I'm a progressive, but the safety of children should not be a matter for our culture wars. Given the secrecy and lack of rigorous standards that characterise youth gender transition across the country, I believe that to ensure the safety of American children, we need a moratorium on the hormonal and surgical treatment of young people with gender dysphoria. In the past 15 years, according to Reuters, the US has gone from having no paediatric gender clinics to more than 100. A thorough analysis should be undertaken to find out what's been done to their patients and why, and what long-term consequences are. There is a clear path for us to follow, but last year England announced that it would close the Tavistock's Youth Gender Clinic, then the NHS's only such clinic in the country, after an investigation revealed shoddy practices and poor patient treatment. Sweden and Finland too have investigated paediatric transition and are greatly curbed the practice, finding there is insufficient evidence of help and danger of great harm. Sorry, guys. Some critics describe the kind of treatment offered at places like the Transgender Centre where I worked as a kind of national experiment, but that's wrong. Experiments are supposed to be carefully designed. Hypotheses are supposed to be tested ethically. The doctors I worked alongside at the Transgender Centre said frequently about the treatment of our patients, "We are building the plane while we are flying it." No one should be a passenger on that kind of aircraft. I agree. Definitely not. Good. That's good that they're doing something about it. They take the evidence seriously and are thoroughly investigating to make sure children are not harmed by individuals who may be more concerned with the radical social agenda than with the health of the children. That's what the whole thing's about. They're more worried about a radical social agenda than any children. Or even adults, really. The sworn affidavit asserts that individuals at the centre are using experimental drugs on children, distributing puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones without individual assessment, and even giving children these life-altering drugs without parental consent. And The whistleblower has also provided documentary evidence that the centre has been unlawfully billing state taxpayers to fund these actions. Specific allegations include on several occasions the doctors have continued prescribing medical transition even when a parent stated they were revoking consent. Wow. So I've pretty much read the whole article, so I don't think I need to go through that, but wow. Colin Rugg said Biden blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, which led to the leak of 400,000 tonnes of gas, and the climate crew has nothing to say. They don't care about the climate, they care about controlling you. All of us. Investigative Journal says US bombed Nord Stream pipeline. Yeah, apparently the Navy did, yeah. Navy dive teams. Great. ALX said breaking, Meta has officially restored Donald Trump's access to his Facebook and Instagram accounts. Yay. He's not using them. I mean, he hasn't used Twitter since he was given that back either. But we're still waiting. We're still waiting for that. My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. Jeffrey Blackman, Australia First, said Greens renew the push to lower voting age in Australia to 16. Because little kids don't know, and they're being brainwashed at school into all this climate stuff so that, you know, the younger ones would, until they have the, what do you call it? The thought of even looking at different points of view. Do you know what I mean? Ashley said the FBI has confirmed there was no insurrection on January 6. So what's going on? Why are they not free? Why are those people not free? Why? Lauren Boebert said 71% of Americans believe accurate reporting of Hunter Biden's laptop would have changed everything in 2020. This is not some nothing story. This cover-up altered the history of this nation forever. Actually, the world. Juanita Broderick said, Rep Higgins says it's time to arrest these Twitter execs and read them their right. Please, can someone please do this? Can someone please go and arrest the Twitter executives? And when you're done there, come after the rest of them, please. Over here. Yeah. The Gateway Pundit said, here we go. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros, oh, this bloke again, says we must prepare for potential H5N1 human bird flu pandemic. No. Nope. I don't believe it. Sorry. Nope. Roger Stone said Hunter Biden's lawyers have sent him a formal letter threatening to sue him, even though he played no role whatsoever in the entirely legal exposure of the laptop. He will continue to write and talk about the facts. This is Roger Stone, okay? So the lawyers are trying to take him to court. He didn't leak it. Hunter Biden left it at a bloody computer shop, and the computer shop guy contacted someone and told them. Proud Elephant said John Fetterman was rushed to a DC hospital, not last night but the night before. Doctors fear he may have suffered another stroke. Remind me why Pennsylvania elected this guy. Who takes over if he fails, if something happens to him? Really wishing Trump would have endorsed a better candidate than Dr. Oz right now. A lot of people I know, but look, it's confusing, okay? And Dr. Oz has had accusations against him, and I don't know if they're mainstream media accusations trying to pull him down because maybe he changed teams. I don't know. The Trump train, but there is method in Trump's madness, I know that. The Trump train said China is now demanding the United States return the debris from their spy balloon. What would you say to China if you were president? I'd tell them to go themselves. That's what I would tell them. Go blow it out your rear end, mate. Dr. Simon Godek said the main reason why doctors and pharmacists usually don't recommend taking about 5,000 IU of vitamin D per day is they don't want to lose customers. Many people correctly note that one should always combine vitamin D with vitamin K2. Magnesium's good. Anyway, this person wrote, I'm gonna retweet this. Okay, just in case anyone wants to go and read it. You can click on my Twitter. You should be able to see my Twitter feed, even if you're not signed up for Twitter. You just ignore the sign up, sign in, or whatever. I don't know. But I was able to. Maurice said most foods that are cheap and convenient are not going to be good for you. These quick, convenient and on-the-go foods have been pushed on society for a reason. Yes, definitely. If you're eating a lot of sugars, processed food, refined oils, it's going to create high levels of inflammation in the system. Top anti-inflammatory foods: grass, pasture-fed meat, poultry and wild game. Hey, turkey. Lemon, limes and berries. I've been eating a lot of berries too. Avocados and avocado oil. I like avocados. Green tea. I drink black tea. Non-starchy vegetables. Yeah, I'm eating a few of them. Turmeric. Haven't started yet. Wild caught fish. I've got to go fishing. Bone broth and vegetable broth. Yeah. Apple cider vinegar. Got some. Ginger. Got some. Organic extra virgin olive oil and olives. I eat olives and I do have olive oil. I'm not sure if it's extra virgin. Have to check that. Fermented vegetables like sauerkraut. Coconut oil, coconut butter, coconut milk and coconut flakes. I love coconut. Basil, oregano, thyme, rosemary, sage. I like all them. Garlic, onions and chives. I like them too. So they're the top anti-inflammatory foods. If you want, take a screenshot. I should also actually. Yep, I will. I'm going to retweet that. Okay. Liz Churchill said the only way the New World Order can survive is by starting World War III with Russia now. Yeah. I think they'd try two things at once. World War III and financial collapse. That's just me. That's my feeling that they would do. If one didn't work, they'd pull the other. Jack Posobiec said breaking John Fetterman's been rushed to a DC hospital. Ian Yeager said House Republicans plan to have Nancy Pelosi testify under oath relating to January 6. Do you support this move? I do. Well, get her in there. Chuck Costello said breaking report, US intelligence confirms Chinese spy balloon was part of a global surveillance operation to collect information on military sites across the world. Wouldn't you know it? Want to help stop big tech censorship? Yeah? Tap here. Why? What is it? I'm not American though. I don't think I can do anything. No, because I can't even donate to Donald Trump. So, there you go. Anywho, there you go. That's what that was about. Canberra said Republican Councilman Russell Heller has been shot dead in his car in New Jersey. This comes exactly 1 week after Republican Councilwoman Eunice Dwumfor was shot dead in her car miles away. Appears there is no connection between the two, but they still have no idea who killed the councilwoman. Yeah, look, a one-off, maybe not, but I don't know. 2 within a week. Is there some kind of execution going on? Chook said they never should have been installed in the first place. And Chinese-made security cameras will be ripped from the walls of federal government buildings over fears Beijing could be using them to spy. Duh. An audit has revealed almost 1,000 devices are operating across hundreds of Commonwealth sites. Bloody idiots. Okay. Is there more? Hang on. I was trying to do this all in one go. The Virginia Giuffre Files Part 1, a case of the controversial photos. Yes, I did read it. I did. Cool. Just needed to know that. Thread, Project Veritas coup. A whistleblower has contacted me about the news that James O'Keefe was put on leave stripped of all authority at Project Veritas. This is difficult for this person to publish as a staunch supporter of Project Veritas for years and even a VIP at their events. But what is happening to James O'Keefe is unconscionable, and that attempted hostile takeover of Project Veritas needs to be stood against by its supporters. This will not stand. James is a bit of a victim of poor corporate structure, as Project Veritas is two separate orgs, a 501c3, which had very few board members and the majority of the dollars, and a 501c4, which has significantly more board members but less dollars. According to the source, this situation has allowed two alleged ringleaders of this attempt to push James out to have a significant sway over the others despite their reasons to be essentially meritless. Board members and C-suite officers involved in this, according to my source, are as follows. The board members are Matt Termand, ringleader, John Garvey, George Skakel, Joseph Barton, not the congressman, Steve Alembic, CFO Tom O'Hara, and COO Barry Hinckley, ringleader, pronouns in bio. Oh, God. Source, the board held a 6.5-hour struggle session versus James where they subjected him to constant derisions and insults at the assistance of Termand, O'Hara, and Hinckley. Hinckley? Heard that name before. About 10 employees aired their grievances about James, which essentially boiled down to him being a tough boss to work for. At the end of this 6-hour struggle session, Termand and fellow board member John Garvey put him on leave and stripped him of all authority. It was literally a Stalin-esque kangaroo court trial. The thing that is so very profound to me that no one seems to grasp, John Garvey and the rest of the board did nothing to stop it. Matt Termand had it all scripted. All 6 effing hours. This comes in the immediate aftermath of Project Veritas' greatest moment ever, exposing corruption at Pfizer, which my source thought was extremely suspicious timing. You boot the founder right after your biggest win of all time? PV must explain this situation. My source believes that with enough public support, James O'Keefe could win back support of the 501c4 board, so please retweet and voice your support in a positive way. James O'Keefe has done more to expose corporate corruption than almost any journalist in modern history. If James O'Keefe leaves, I will no longer support Project Veritas and will support whichever... I've got a bad tickle. And will support whichever venture he starts instead. My source says that the rank and file employees are still with James. The board needs to realise Project Veritas will likely not survive if they go through with this. I woke up to 1.3 million notifications this morning. Wow, crazy. No one was able to follow me last night, so try again if you're interested in follow-up tweets. I've been reached out to by additional PV insiders who have more to say about the issue. Wow, update. They've obtained a cease and desist demand letter sent to the Project Veritas Board of Directors by a law firm representing a large group of significant PV donors. Whoa, go guys. Someone asked about this 501c4. Wow, good stuff. So it's continuing on, and I'm going to retweet that. Conservative brief said Ocasio-Cortez busted in massive scandal. Do you think she should be removed from Congress? What did she do now? As if she's not doing something all the time. The thing the other day was absolute theatre, her in Congress. Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or as some people say, Occasional Cortex, and other members of Congress paid thousands of dollars in campaign cash to a Chinese foreign agent, according to a review of campaign finance records. Fox News Digital reported that AOC, along with 2 Democrats and 1 Republican, were involved in the payments. Kevin Mullen, Grace Meng, and Nicole Maliotakis joined Occasional Cortex in pushing campaign cash to Tsingtao US, a subsidiary of the Hong Kong-based Tsingtao News Corporation, for advertising expenses during the midterm election cycle. Anyone giving China money? I don't know. Colin Rugg said, breaking, Jim Jordan says, dozens of FBI whistleblowers have come forward over the FBI's weaponization against conservatives. Dismantle the FBI. Yep, and then we've played that one. And someone said he's got no evidence. Yeah, right. Pauline Hanson said Anthony Albanese, which is Australia's Prime Minister, wants to enshrine a race-based Indigenous voice to Parliament in our Constitution. What could possibly go wrong? Lock it into the Constitution. Failed forerunner to the voice to Parliament is charged with fleecing $2 million from the Aboriginal Trust. What could possibly go wrong? Lauren Boebert said John Fetterman brought a convicted murderer to the State of the Union. This is the Democrat Party of 2023. A sanctuary for criminals and illegals. Unbelievable. Hey? The guest in question was convicted of second-degree murder for providing transportation to the assailant. Wow. His sentence was commuted by the PA governor after he served 28 years of an automatic life sentence. He's still considered guilty of his crime by the judicial system. Illuminati bot said Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty of sex trafficking children. Oh, I shouldn't have probably said that. But anyway, who cares? A judge refuses to release the list of who she sold them to. I'm saying that for YouTube. I shouldn't have said it, okay? But I don't care. If they're going to do what they're going to do, and there's nothing I can do about it. Up until the list is released, we have only one conclusion. All of them are on it. Every last damn billionaire, prince and politician. Okay? As long as no one's talking about it, they're all involved. Chook said TikTok dumbing down an entire generation one video at a time. Oh, watch this. You effing idiot. Funny videos, viral videos. Bloody idiot. Watch this. I'm not going to play the music, okay? There's music playing, okay? This seems to be some sort of trend of getting out of a car and walking alongside while it's going very slow and dancing to music. Who knows? Ready? That is the best thing that could have happened. Sorry, love, but that was funny. Okay, Viva Fry said US sabotages the Nord Stream pipeline, causes catastrophic damage to civilians, blames Russia, tries to start World War III. Zelensky bombs and kills Polish farmers, blames it on Russia, tries to start World War III. When do we acknowledge that Russia might not be the only bad guy in all of this? Yeah, seems like everyone's trying to start World War III. Okay, Liv in Victoria said, my year one child, now your year one child would be about 6 years old, okay? Just came home and said the First Nations people own all the land. Our teacher told us so. Talk about indoctrination. They also had to make up a new national anthem. Seriously, when's this going to end? I'm really getting sick of it. Leo Sapir said American pediatric gender medicine has its first major whistleblower. This was inevitable. That's that lady again, which I've already read. Yep, and that's it. That's it for the news. Yay, we did it. How long did that take? 2 hours. But I caught up. Hey, Demelza, thank you so much. I appreciate that, guys. God love yous. Okay. So, what have we got here? We've had Deb, thank you. Shannon, thank you. Shannon and Demelza. And anyone else who did. Okay, I should be able to see them anyway. Okay, we've got David, how you going? Ahoy from Eastern Maine. I said good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Kevin's in here. Anne's in here. Face there. Who else have we got? Oh, yes, we did have Heather. Did everyone see another thing that got knocked down in Alaska? What were we talking about there? What was that? How you going, Heather, anyway? And how you going? Who else have we got? Menacing Muskrat. Wow, it's Friday. You think my hair looks nice? Oh, thank you. It's a bit... Oh, okay. I'll just thank you. I can't take compliments, guys, please. I mean, I'm trying, but I get all awkward, you know? I don't know. I get funny. Okay, David said, hope we're all well. I've been out of touch for a while. David likes a hairdo as well. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. It'll grow. Look, I just cut it too short and then had to get it cut by a hairdresser because I did it when we were locked down. And it'll grow. If I leave it alone, it'll grow, okay? You can say that for a lot of things. Leave it alone, it'll grow. Okay, what else have we got? Anne said Moonbelly moved it all last night, it seemed. Wow. I said, Hev, you look 20 years younger and your hair looks like... Oh, thank you. Guys, you're going to give me a big head and I won't be able to fit through my bloody door. Hev, you're cool. Oh, thank you. Alex said, I thought Stu Peters did Project Veritas. No, that's James O'Keefe. I thought it was Tom Fitton. My God. I don't know how I got those two mixed up. No idea. The screen's funny. Oh, hang on. Sorry, guys. Is that better? Thank you, Alex. Alex has let me know when things aren't going right. Yeah, so no, it's yeah, it's James O'Keefe. I don't know if is it fixed yet? Oh yes, that was because I had screen share on. It should be fixed by now, I think. Menacing Muskrat said, hello everyone. Darren said, does that mean Prince Andrew is cleared? No, I've heard other things about him. No, not necessarily. Just this one person. Like I said, when it first came out and she was going to court and everything, where were all the other victims? There are more than that. And there are victims of her. Because she helped to traffic people. Unfortunately, but look, I can't make the history undo itself, you know. I don't know. But I don't think it makes him... Oh, it's good now. Excellent. I don't think that clears him completely. He's still... Heard he was an arms dealer. That's what I heard. Alex, it does seem a bit dodgy with Virginia, and she's gone quiet now. She has the money off the Queen unless she was made to sign a non-disclosure. She was, apparently. But she's about to let out a book or something. Grateful Grandma, how you going? Hey, have been in hospital, missed your shows, all good now. Oh, pray for Grateful Grandma to get better, please, everyone. Prince Andrew is well, yeah, he could very well be still. I don't doubt that, but I'm just questioning questions that have to be asked of Virginia because things maybe don't quite add up. And I remember, was it Brian Harvey said that he thought that photo was fake of Virginia and Prince Andrew. And I remember back then I was going, no, surely not. Until the size difference, the height difference came out. Unless you're standing on a box or something. I really don't know. Oh, you're Robin. Oh, how you going, Robin? Grateful Grandma's Robin. Yeah, pray that you get better, Robin. Hey, I am Kai. How you going? Lanazi, how you going? Luna said, I've always questioned everything and my kids do the same. I encourage it. It's the only way to hunt out the truth. Yeah, well, look, it's not a popular opinion for me to call this out, but the questions have to be asked, and I'm going to ask them because I want the truth. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you guys do too. Oh, it jumped again. Demelza, how you going? And Danny said, well, Faith, at the very least, another devil worshipping. I've just skipped a whole lot of... The chat jumped, and now I can't get back to the ones that I was on. So I just got to go from where it is. Sorry, guys. Danny said, at the very least, another devil worshipping half-time. Menacing Muskrat said, is that a make-a date? A marker date or a make-a date? Out to lunch said brown eyes. Oh, dear. There's something in Australia. I don't know if you guys call it brown eye over in America or England, but if someone shows you their bottom, it's called a brown eye. Oh, sorry, I don't know what you're getting at out to lunch. I'm sorry. It just reminded me of that. Oh dear. Alex said it's getting more and more satanic every year. David Morgan said, howdy, Alex, just here briefly this morning as we're filmed for our movie today. Good luck, David. Darren said, was the Chinese laser green to taunt America about their green policies, shifting power to China? Could be. I don't know. I'm waiting for him to go to Australia next. Better shut my bathroom window. No, they're after data and military bases, but imagine that. I've often wondered about satellites and things if you got your bathroom window open. Could they really, like, what do you call it, zoom in that far? Oh dear. Sitting in the bathroom going, hey. Zal said, how much longer are we people going to put up with Brandon Puppet before they start asking questions? Who is puppeting him? Yeah. Well, we're in the Muppet Show at the moment with our favourite Muppets, Biden, Madonna, Kamala, Pelosi. Who else? All of them, pretty much. Deb said they're getting away very, very slowly. Yeah, the police chase. I'd be embarrassed if I was the Queensland Police. That would be so easy to catch those people. And you probably wouldn't even hurt the person hanging out of the car. They're all going so slow. Zal said, not allowed to pull them over in Queensland, especially if they're of colour. Are you kidding? Is that what's going on? Faye said, menacing could be PGA tournament in Phoenix, 6/12 also. Deb said, you're meant to speed up the video of the police chase. That's the slowest police chase I've ever seen in my life. I think. Yeah. That was slow, that police chase. Kevin Thompson said, like watching the OJ chase back in the day. Yeah. This one's a bit slower, I think. I don't know. GLF said the Biden video is real, and that's exactly what he said. I watched it when it was live. I believe he was in Japan at the time for the Shinzo Abe funeral. He said they would take out Nord Stream 2. Yeah, no, it just looked like, because there was such a dark... there was like a shadow around him. A dark line, sorry. A very distinct line. That's just why I thought that was... It could be real, GLoft, and probably is. David said, howdy, Musgrave, top of the morning to ya. Top of the morning to ya. Out to lunch said, Beetlejuice. Oh, I've been shot. Welcome to Chicago. Menacing Muskrat said, how America blew up the Nord Stream. Oh, you've put the link there. Good on you, Menacing Muskrat. Alex said, now, wow, she looks like Beetlejuice now. She does. She looks so pretty. When she was young. What happened? That must be what being left does to you. Sal said, when my kids went through school, it was cool to fail and be barely able to read and write. The teachers never made an effort to address this. That's terrible. Out to lunch says, misery loves company. Alex said, I'll be relieved when the whole truth comes out about everything. I think it's going to take a little while. Things are coming out, like bit by bit. You can see it. People are being shown because people don't listen, so they don't listen to people like me or you, trying to tell them, hey, there's something going on here. They have to be shown. Literally. Darren said that hearing was entertaining. Yes, I've still got to see the whole thing. Apparently it's on, is it Forbes? Deb said I had to say my grandchildren having babies instead of going to high school is the fashion. Yeah. I honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't have my kids in school. Not in this day and age. I'd be pulling them out quicker than you can say, I don't know, pull out. David Morgan said exactly, we're not equal. We have equal life value, equal rights under the law, but I'm not like anyone else. Are you? No, of course not. Not if you're awake anyway, laughed myself. Yep. Yeah, no one's exactly like another person. Yeah, no one's the same. We're all different. We may have things in common, but we're all different, and it's good to be that way. We need to all be different. Otherwise, if we had, like, If we were all the same, God, life would be boring. You need different people to, you know, to interact with. Menacing Muskrat said, indeed, patience is a virtue. Alex, long time coming, we'll get there, yep. Out to Lunch shared graphics. Check out how many killings in Chicago this year. 52, I think, since January 1st. Jeez. Wow. Menacing Muskrat said, dumbest down education system, yep. Kevin said, experts go to answer, not to the best of my knowledge. Yeah. Or I can't recall, or not that I'm aware of. These are non-answers. You might as well be saying yes because you can't remember, or, you know. I'd like a straight yes or no answer. That's what I'd like. I may have to do a quick intermission, guys. Just bear with me for a sec and I'll get straight back to these comments. Just give me a sec. Intermission's not working. What the hell? Hang on. No. Okay, my intermission's not working. What do I do? Hang on. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry, I know you can hear me still. I'm just trying to do something here. I really need an intermission. So I'm going to add a source, and I'm going to add the intermission back in there and see if that works. Add source. That one will do. Add source. Sorry, guys. Where's my intermission? The one with the kangaroos. I don't know. I'm going to have to... Shivers. Where has it gone? I'm going to have to leave you with this one for a minute, guys. So hang on.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
I don't even know if that was playing. Oh dear, guys. Okay, where I'm up to. Oh, by the way, the turkey loves the chickens. Won't leave them alone. What else have we got? I've got 2 chickens, by the way. I've got to update and upload the footage of... You know what I did? God, I'm an idiot. Okay. I thought it was recording when it was paused and paused when it was recording. So I didn't get half of me building that stupid little thing, little hen house thing. So yeah, but I've got part of it, so I'm going to have to see what I can do with that and upload that. But the turkey, the wild turkey that I've got running around, loves my chickens. It tries to peck at them too. David said, probably done on purpose. Got to dash and mount cameras on my bike and gas her up. I'll leave the stream running. Should have time drop back and say au revoir, take off, before I take off. Sounds interesting. Hey Robin, how you going? Menacing Musco said in the Bible, do not mess with the oil or the wine. Geneva Convention made oil a rare fossil fuel, meaning that they could regulate this unlimited resource. Exactly. Yeah, it's not a fossil fuel. No fossils about it. David said, I'll be in the cinemas with any luck. Alex will have a provisional promise for global distribution. Any man who directs has contacts. Your what? Your kiddie movie won over 100 short film awards. Good stuff, David. Zal said, Justin Trudeau. Robin said, I've been watching all the congressional hearings. Oh, good. Oh, Menacing Muskrat said, correction, Zal. Justine Turd Dope Castro. David said, type Time Boy the hard right into YouTube search box for that one. Oh. Sounds interesting. Wanda said Martin Luther King was Marxist, by the way. Oh, really? Selena said it's a coup against O'Keefe. Yep. Wanda said terrorist act. Alex said, okay, see you soon, David. Have a good afternoon. Out to lunch said, Mrs. Out to lunch is at her sister's. I hope she sees this. Fred loves Donna, and Donna loves Fred. Rex said, demons preying on children. Wanda said, this is truly the Marxist ideology. Wake up. Rex said, hello, how you going, Rex? Alex said, hope she has a lovely time out to lunch. Fred loves you, Donna. Shannon said, a late fee. Sorry, kids distracted me. Oh, God love you. And thank you, Luna, as well. Thank you so much, guys. Wanda said, we don't talk about that at the table. Who sits at a table nowadays? Well, I did up until I can't fit my dining table into my house because the house is too small. The dining room's tiny. And my dining table is a big wooden thing with 6 chairs. But yeah, I would sit at the dining table, but I still wouldn't talk. I wouldn't talk about that while I was eating. Period. Get it? Oh no. Mrs. Out to Lunch said, hello, Hev, just made it home. Hello everyone, hope all is well, and if you don't know this, Donna loves Fred. Yay. Alex said, awesome, Shannon, just thinking of you, hoping you wasn't working too hard. Hey Dealey, how you going? Shannon said, no weekend work yet. Vintage is late to start up this year. Oh yeah, and a lot of people were saying I've got to put like stuff around the outside of the chook cage to prevent things from digging. Something's starting to try and dig in there now, believe me. And I've got to wait till Wednesday to go and get the stuff that I'm going to lay down there. I'm also going to put some lattice up around the bottom perimeter of the chook shed. So Shannon said, wow, Deb, sending Smurf love, lol. Kat said, chemical castration sickening. Weren't they called castratis? Oh no, they used to do that when they chopped their nuts off. They were called castratis. There was a movie or something about it. Darren said trans is a mental disorder, should be treated as such with the goal of a cure. It should not be encouraged with physical treatment. I agree. And, you know, like, and people, I remember, I seen someone was talking about it on a UK show. Who was I watching that had the UK? Hang on, I'll find out from my history. Just bear with me for a sec. What was I watching? What was I actually watching? Audience, oh, it was a black conservative perspective. Audience applause as base woman destroys transgender. And it was in England. And, oh my God, yeah. Honestly, I think it is a mental disorder, and this trans lady was trying to say that, look, trans have been around for years and years and years, and I thought, yeah, so have psychopaths and other mental illnesses, but yet we don't give in to those delusions. Do you get me? Yeah. I do feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. But it's not something that should be, yeah, I agree with you, Darren. It's not something that should be encouraged with physical treatment. Out to lunch said grilled cheese with turkey and corn chips. Donna is cooking. I'm about to go and have my lunch soon. And you know what I'm going to have? Plain old cheese and tomato with salt and pepper on a Breville. Do you know what a Breville is? A sandwich maker. Okay? Little toasting sandwich maker thing. Oh, hello, darling. Hang on, let me just turn the keyboard off, yep, to make sure, because here comes the cat. She always has to make a little appearance somewhere. Don't you, Baba? Yes, my sweetie. Oh, yes. Where are we up to? Cat said Rockefeller breast meds must go, and Menacing Muskrat said Bill Gates has breasts. Yeah. Shannon said, Hev's turkey may be at her window watching. Yeah, that's what I had to go. I had to go and feed the turkey because he was going to start pecking at the window again. Dana said, forgot to do my roll call. I'm here. Menacing Muskrat said, Rockefellers are all petroleum-based, not natural. That's why the Rockefellers took the monopoly on oil and petroleum. Wanda said, UFO shot down Alaska per Fox News. Really? Oh, here we go. This should get interesting. Alex said, so many of these kids who've been mutilated will end up so damaged and not be able to reverse it. How horrific. Exactly. That's what I'm worried about with, you know. They're brainwashing them, and I nearly blew my face off just then. But anyway, they're brainwashing them. And, yeah, these kids are doing things that they don't realise they cannot reverse it. Heather said, sad thing, do these people know what these drugs will do to you? Using them for IVF is dangerous, but is short term. And don't you dare drink my cup of tea. And still dangerous to use, but to use forever? Yeah, exactly. What they're creating is more customers for the pharmaceutical industry. That's what they're doing. Because then you're gonna need, like they said, the diabetic meds, the all the other meds that you have, like blood pressure meds and all that kind of thing. Shannon said, you can tell when your girlfriend is on testosterone, she throws you on the bonnet of her car and... Oh dear, Shannon. I'm lucky I read the rest of that before I read it out loud. Kat said, do no harm. And Shannon said, but. Selena said, XXY atypical. Menacing Muskrat said, Shannon. Kat said, I'm on trazodone for sleep. Alex said, that's one way to keep a forever patient. Yeah, but this is heartbreaking. Yep, Alex, that's their evil plan. That's what I think. Exactly. Darren said, yes, Kat, also less people that can reproduce. Yes, they also get the depopulation agenda happening at the same time. Kat said, just like the Young Turks. Alex said, these people need mental help. They do. I do feel sorry for, like, some of them I don't feel sorry for, the ones that demand. You know, look, Respect is earned. Courtesy is given, okay? A courtesy. Hello, how are you today? I'm nice to you, you know, I'm nice to everybody. It's common courtesy. That's courtesy. But respect, that's earned. It's not just given. You have to earn that. Is that you purring? I thought my phone was making funny noises. It's her. Oh, little pumpkin. But yeah, that's what, and I think people sometimes maybe get them mixed up. Courtesy, common courtesy is given automatically. But respect is definitely, don't point your bum at the TV screen. Please at the camera. Oh, how about turn around, look at the camera. She's doing this little purr, but it's got a little part of it. I don't know. Want to sit out to lunch? Is there anyone who would be willing to make a video on white people being beaten by police? Seems everyone thinks whites are very privileged. I don't know how. I'm 65, not tech savvy. Kat said, say no more. Heather said, this is morbid. Yep, Alex said, stop the world. Yep, want to get off. Kat said, the government can steal your children if you let them. Yeah, exactly. Out to lunch said, I know you all hit the thumbs up, right? Yeah, sub if you haven't subbed, please. Guys, help me out. I would say what SC says. I'm struggling here, but yeah, he's got that saying, so I've got to make something else up. D-Lee said, I hear you, Alex, stop the world. Yeah, I want to get off. I don't like this ride anymore. Wanda said, if you were born this way, animals would be gay as well. Just saying. Oh, people do use that excuse and say, well, animals do it. We are very different than animals too. But they don't dress up as the opposite sex, do they? Heather said, the school's here. The kids are cats. We have litter boxes in our bathrooms. Not kidding. Oh, no. Really? Oh. D-Lee said, that's always the first thing. Thumbs up. Shannon said, not pressing the like button, straight away fee. Wanda said, if you have a litter box in a classroom, I'd go off the deep end and raise hell. So would I. Honestly, I'd be going, what are you doing? Where's your head at? Remember that song? Where's your head at? Oh my God, don't let the walls close in on you. Yeah, I'd go off. I would honestly be questioning where their logic's at. Where's their head at, you know? Alex said, yes, Kat, I was explaining this the other month that children can be taken. I also have foster brother who's 21 now, has been with us since he was 7. Kat said they minimise it by calling it top surgery and bottom surgery. Yes, when it's actually, like, mutilation. Yep, Menacing Muskrat said, thumbs it up, folks, thank you. Darren said, who cleans the liddy tray? Do they actually go to the bathroom in it? Like, seriously? I'd find that disgusting. I'd probably laugh. As a school child, I probably would have laughed at a person doing that. Not being mean, just like, shock laugh. Like, what? You're kidding, aren't you? Oh, okay, you're not. Out to lunch said, D-Lee, yep, me too. I have two more old YouTube channels. I forget the password and email, but still watching another TV, so there are 2 more. Kat said they push this BS. Yeah. You know what? But you know why? Because they're not succeeding, so they're pushing as hard as they can, and it's having the opposite effect, I think. Heather said, unfortunately, the law, we cannot do anything. These kids have gone crazy, and they know they own everyone. Out to lunch said, Darren, not my job. Wanda said, right. Darren. Shannon said, this is as bad as Biden's State of the Union speech. Kat said, mastectomy and genital mutilation. Heather said, and this is in a conservative area here in Ohio. Oh my goodness. Why are they doing it? Like, well, we know most of the teachers are lefties, and then some of them are just like plain lost, you know. Out to lunch said, but wouldn't you love to lay a cat turd in the tray? Yeah, how about putting some animal in there and see if they want to get in with that? Darren said, must be crap being a caretaker these days. Oh my goodness. I couldn't imagine it. Alex said, I would insist on being homeschooled. I'm so glad I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, Kat said, funded by the Biden admin. Heather said, exactly, should put little boxes on Congress desks. Yeah, kitty litter. With Poop in them. Ex-swimmer demands transgender locker rooms after Leah Thomas allegedly exposed male genitalia. Yeah, they've been doing that a fair bit. What on earth are you trying to eat there, love? Out to lunch said, I imagine homeschool proms are weird. Hey MJ, how you going? Out to lunch said it's female peen plus is. Penis? Alex said any doctors doing that to children should be struck off. I reckon so too. Darren said, no, Heather, those Congress dogs would think it was a lunchbox. Oh, they probably would. Shannon said Leah Thomas swam her balls off to get that record. Oh, dear. Darren said every kid will equally be like prom king or queen. Yeah, a bit of both. One person can be both prom king and prom queen at the same time. Oh, what hell world do I live in? Shannon said she can't do backstroke because it's a periscope death, and she can't do breaststroke because you can't touch the other swimmers in the race. Alex said that's what they have been trying to do, take away the consent of the parents. Well, okay. For all these women who agree with transgender people, right? Okay. Do they not find that men taking over women's spaces is a bit misogynistic, or, you know? These are the worst of the worst doing this. Going to female prisons, you know, men trying to do that. Men trying to be women at all. Okay? They don't want women to have their own spaces, so the men are pretending to be women to take over. So, you know, it's not right. And I'm going to start calling people misogynists if they do that. Not normal men, they're not misogynists, it's these people wanting to come in and take over the female spaces. And Shannon said nowadays there are no winners, only losers. Danny said 100 people here. Oh, really? They're not now, it's gone down, I think. 104, God love yous. Alex said they're obsessed with children and taking their innocence. Alex said, welcome everyone. Yeah, welcome. Sub if you haven't. Darren said we should lobby for raising the voting age to 25, then a good compromise would be to leave it alone. Yeah, Shannon, hot pants Tedros. Yeah. Darren said Fetterman makes a great Frankenstein. Alex said voting is just an illusion to make people believe they have a choice when they all drink at the same pub and all feather their own nests. Yep. Shannon said because people hated Dr. Oz more, lol. Alex said, obey. Mrs. Out to Lunch said, love. Shannon said, obey. MJ said, who is Fetterman? Fetterman was, someone picked him as a freaking politician somewhere in the US, sorry. He can't talk. He had a stroke and he needs everything, when he does an interview and that, he needs it to be typed out so he can read it and then respond. He can't respond to you talking to him. And he's just had another stroke. So how good is he going to be at being any kind of politician now? I don't know. Yeah, he was running against Dr. Oz and Fetterman won with brain damage. Darren said Oz was stood so Fetterman could win and show everyone the clown show. Yeah, it could have been on purpose, yep. Shannon said Pearl Jam song, can't find a Fetterman. Can't find a Fetterman. Oh, I used to love that song. Stuart McGovern said Sheffield, not so Great Britain. Shannon said, yes, Darren, you're watching a show. And Wheezy said, wishing everyone a rather exquisite Friday evening, Saturday morning. You too, Wheezy. Hope you have a good one. Let me know if you're going live or doing a video, if you're still here. Darren said, notice they never tell you all the benefits of black tea. I thought, I don't know if there are many. I don't know. They're supposed to be, but they don't ever tell you. MJ said, hey, Alex. Selena said, black pico tea is great for helping get rid of inflammation. MJ said, did the turkey come knock knock? Yep. Selena said, so Lipton iced tea is great for you. Kat said, Trump will be back. Oh, definitely. Alex said, hey, Wheezy, where are you going? Kat said it's getting crazy out there. Kat said, so what, they all crazy, the governments? Kat said, insane, we love James. Yeah. Darren said, yes, Selena, it's just tea and sugar, but not if it uses other ingredients like sweeteners. And Carl said, 102 watching. That would have been a while ago, 102 watching. Hey, greetings, Heck Rangel. How you going? Darren said, James O'Keefe is Project Veritas. He is. He's the founder. And without him, there is no Project Veritas. Do you trust anyone else to run that thing? I don't. Yes, Shannon, Salty Cracker has been banned off YouTube. I could not find his channel at all, and I'm subbed to him. So YouTuber at it again. What else is there? Oh, you know what? Yep, men are culturally appropriating women now. That's what it is. They're not misogynistic. They're just culturally appropriating the women. I'm going to start calling people these names that they call us, right? For doing this. Keck Rangel said, this is new to me. I do not as of yet know. Luna said, this live and this chat has made my weekend. Thank you. You too. You guys, honestly, every live stream you make my live stream. You really do. Alex said, it's always lovely to get together, Luna. Keck said, oh, yes, and this is why all the other demon rats are so afraid of the squid. They are the pets of the globalist and hold all the purse strings and have tons of dirt on them all. Oh, yeah, they're worried about their dirt getting out. That's what they're worried about. MJ said all of them. Alex said for YouTube purposes, yes. Lanazi said, I'm watching. Hands not great tonight. Lol, sorry. Oh, that's all right, Lanazi. I understand. I hope they get better. Shannon said TikTok is Chinese spyware. Yes. Even if you delete it off your phone, I think they can still listen through. Lanazi's laughing. Wheezy said lol. Alex said, I've seen loads of these car idiots, karma. MJ said ding dong. Lanazi said, play stupid games, lol. Keck said, TikTok is why the world and the globalists think we're all right for the pickings. Demelza, oh, God love you, sending love, Hev. Alex said, win silly prizes, Lanazi. Yeah, exactly. Shannon said, my old 79 Hilux could drive itself like this, lol. I thought it was funny when she was walking beside the car and the car just stops and she walks into the door. That should happen more often and teach them not to do silly things like that. Why do they do it anyway? What's so good about, like, you know, walking along while music's playing in the car? You get out and you start walking beside the car. I'm great. I'm fantastic. Thank you, Shannon. Oh my God. I don't know. I miss the old days. Darren said, funny how the presidents not called warmongers are the ones who get involved in war. Alex said, I've heard that too, Shannon. One line of code away from being a virus, TikTok. I thought you meant warmongers, yeah. Keck said, the war in the UK is over a spot of land the size of LA. How is this a war for real, and why did we take over Russia if they can't take Ukraine? Oh, God love you, Shannon. Was that you again? Shannon said, infinity. 8. Wheezy said, you're an exquisite specimen. Who are you talking to? Oh, Menacing Muskrat put the Gateway Pundit up there. Robert Debicki said, my old HR ute did too on the farm. Lol. Yeah. Oh, look, honestly, the old cars are better too. Heather said it's a balloon type of thing. Menacing Muskrat said, meanwhile, in Canada, oh, yeah, it's happening all over the world. It's just all gone crazy. Heather said, it just happened today. Oh, God love you, Deb. Thank you. Darren said, imagine letting a burglar rummage through your house, then shooting them on their way out. That's what Biden did with the balloon. Yeah. No, after they got outside, on the street, and he shot him. That's exactly what. Oh, it just jumped. Oh, please let me get back to where I was. Oh, yes, I'm back there. Yeah, he might as well have waited till the person got out on the road and said, oh, they were breaking in and I shot them. Yeah, I don't know. Heather said, size of a car, they said. I heard size of a bus. Okay, I don't know. Oh, God love you, Luna. Are you guys on a, on a mission here? Shannon said, I had an HR wagon, never tried to ghost tie it, though. Davis said, all set to go, about 40 minutes to spare, Alex. Keck Rangel said, G grand MA. Astrid, how you going? Nice hair, thank you. Erica said, I'm started over just so I knew what you were talking about, and it's in reference to Prince Andrew. He's like sitting on something, it looks to me. That's why he's looking shorter than what he is. Maybe. Look, there could be a reason. I'm just asking questions because there is a supposed nearly a full head height difference. A foot. Something's a foot. Danny said, Darren, perfect apt analogy on Biden's China balloon, mate. Ash said, did kind of look like he was slouching a bit, wasn't standing straight up. Tall people often do this when next to smaller people. Yeah, but I've never had a 6 foot person be able to get to my... I'm 5'2", okay? Never had, like, 6 foot people, I'm always... They can't bend down enough to... I don't know, half that size. I don't know. Keck Rangel said, get well, Robin. Shannon said, not a fan of short hair. Too hard to pull. Wheezy said, lol, brown eye. Oh, you call them chocolate starfish. Okay. Oh, God love you, Deb. Thank you. You call them chocolate starfish. Okay, we call them brown eyes. People chuck brown eyes at cars, passing cars, off bridges. I mean, it's insane. Anyway. Menacing Muskrat said $196.1 billion for digital healthcare for Vaccine UN. Oh, great. Well, they'll be giving that money back, I'm sure. MJ said, Shannon, oh my God. Shannon said, brown note. Oh. Alex said, I just nearly spat my drink out. Brown. Oh, so I'm guessing you got what I meant. Keck Rangel said, China's... What is it? Chinese facing it. Looking at have on the toilet. Oh, the Chinese, what do you call it? Satellites looking at people on the toilet. Darren said, my brown-eyed girl. Deb said, I live next to Air Force here in Adelaide, South Australia. Oh, you will be able to see the balloon if it goes past then. I'm sure it'll go over there. Lanazi said, just wipe your butt and show on the toilet paper. Out to lunch said, Shannon Spear, I like to pull hair. Oh, Shannon said, now I know where you are, Deb. David said, God bless the RAF, or the RAAF, and the land and the sea blokes too. Let's hope we don't need them. Keck said, the reason Tato Head seems so coherent now is they keep deep faking his voice. Are they, or are they shooting him with something that makes him alive and awake and a bit more aware? I don't know. Deb said, I've let the cat out of the bag. Shannon said, messaging all those fly boys, lol. MJ said, they want us boring, too bad. Darren said, everyone in China will soon have every moment of their life on video for AI to find the wrong thinkers. AI can evaluate emotion and basic thought as well as watch what you do. Hey, AI, can you hear this? Would you like me to turn it up? That's for the AI, not you guys. Oh, God love you, Luna. Okay. I'm just trying to find out where I'm up to because it jumped again. It keeps jumping on me. The chat, every time I touch it, it just jumps. Okay, I've gone far back there. Okay. That was a quick intermission. I had to go and feed the turkey. He was about to start tapping on the window and I didn't want him to tap on the window again because it gets loud. It's distracting. Shannon said, gobble gobble, the turkey must be knocking. MJ said, put the camera on Kitty. Oh, I should have. Out to lunch said, just mute and fart, heaven sent. Shannon said, Intermission Impossible. Yeah, I'm having one of those Intermission Impossibles. I'm having a Mission Impossible. And Deb's throwing up the popcorn and the drinks, and Dealey said, I agree, out to lunch. And MJ said, what did she name that turkey? Okay, we've got, the chickens are Henny and Penny, and the turkey's name is Benny. I don't know if it's a male or female, but I've named it Benny. Are you coming back for another go-round, sweetie? Coming for another visit, are we? Don't throw a brown eye at the camera or whatever you do, and don't drink my cup of tea. Shannon said I named the turkey sandwich. Luna said Kitty would be good to watch, and I'm going to get popcorn anyway. I should have just played some background music, and I didn't even think of doing that. MJ said, MJ Tom Turkey. Alex said, I just had to grab something to eat. I forgot to eat before the live. So did I. MJ said, sandwich, you are killing me. Shannon said, big mistake now. Alex will be swaying like a snake charmer. Dealey said, sway. Shannon said, gobble, gobble. David said, President Trump upgraded the American military to the most formidable force on the planet. Good job, Brandon. Can't command them, or we'd all be gone before Christmas. Out to lunch said, I heard her fart, I think. Oh, that was me. I was going to say, I don't think I did. Shannon said, I saw Hev get taller for a sec, last of the airbenders. Deb said, Shannon showing her his true colours. MJ's gone, yep. Shannon says, abrupt. Alex said, and we're back. Airbenders, lol, Shannon. Robin said, look at the kitties. Deb said, looking like it might get moist. Yeah, well, they said mostly sunny today, and most of the morning was cloudy. So what, okay. When does it go from being mostly sunny to partly cloudy? What's the difference? Is there so many percentage it has to be cloudy for before they say partly cloudy? I don't know. Shannon said turkey chicken hybrids. Well, the turkey's on the outside of the fence, see? But he wants in. I'm not letting him in because he tries to peck at the chickens. I don't know. But he's always around the chicken pen, a chicken coop, and wherever the chickens walk inside, he follows along on the outside. Like he chases them around. It's quite funny, actually. And I saw the chickens laying on their back and kicking their little legs out. And then I was watching the turkey the other day, and he was just like running and then flying and then jumping, and then like they're playing. I swear they play. Menacing Muskrat said, a James O'Keefe message, I'm not suicidal. That's right, he also said I'm not suicidal. Shannon said, what really clear skies here at the moment? Yeah, we have... Oh, it's clearing. Deb said, so what would you call that hybrid then, Shannon? Deb said, dining outdoors then. Shannon said, chicks that gobble then cluck on the first date. Turkins? I think that one went over my head, or I may not have read it. Chicken or turkey? Deb said, Alex. Shannon said, Turkins. MJ said, I like turkey. Shannon said, careful, they'll cluck you up. Oh, dear. Dealey said, chai, turkey, N. Alex said, Dealey, I had to read that a few times. Deb said, yes, I was wondering about stopping foxes getting under the chicken pen. Yeah, well, for a start, I want to get some lattice. I need to come up like maybe as tall as the chickens are, a little bit, you know, just so they can't do anything to damage the bottom. And then I've got to get something like, I don't know, something for the outside, maybe more chicken mesh so they can't, no one can dig under. As Deb said, yes, I was wondering about stopping foxes from getting under the chicken pen. Shannon said, Kim, chai, turkey, and fake breast meat. Alex said, foxes got to mum and dad's chickens years ago. That's what I don't want to happen. We do have foxes here, that were brought over by the British many, many years ago because they wanted something to hunt. Maybe they should have gone after some kangaroos. I don't know. Deb said that one locks in the cheese. Shannon said toasty toast, as we call them. MJ said, think about people I want to identify as handicapped cutting a limb off. Sick, right? Same thing with cutting off. Exactly, MJ. Exactly. People who really do have body dysmorphia sometimes have arms that they don't think belongs to them. And there was a story of one guy who actually either let a tree fall on it, on his arm, or his leg, or whatever it was, or hammered it so that he could get it chopped off. It's a serious mental problem, I'm telling you. And it's the same if you want other body parts chopped off. I don't care which parts they are. There is a problem. And the doctors who are doing it might as well be feeding the delusions of some person who has lost it, really lost it, and is just delusional. I don't know. Alex said, love a toasted sarnie, yum. Deb said, Kitty should fill in when you need to go off for a minute. They should, actually, and I should just put background music with the cats there, and it would be better. Alex said, I have a great ridge monkey pan that's great for toasting everything. Okay, I'm going to try something while you're all here. Just let me know if this works. Okay. Let me know if you can hear music in the background when I do this. If I can't play music, I'll play YouTube music. Ready?
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time,
King.
feel the pain, live the grind.
Okay, did you hear that? Did you see that? Oh, it was weird. I don't dance like that normally, promise. I just want to know if you heard that. I'll get to the comments in a sec. Deb said, a person took out their eyes to become disabled. Oh my God. Alex said, I have a ridge monkey pan and it's great for toasting everything. Ooh. Alex said, I heard something like that, Deb. They identify as being disabled to have limbs amputated and all sorts. The doctors are doing this. Deb said, Hev's cat is vibrating. Oh no. Shannon said, how'd they find the post button if they took out their eyes? MJ said, a doctor that would do this has no integrity. None. Polly's license proves they're quacks. Exactly. That's the right thing. Deb said, no eyes to see in chat today. He was. I don't know where he went. MJ said, Shannon, oh my God. Shannon said, oh. Oh. Alex said he was here earlier, Deb. Keck said, SC is based. I'm struggling here. Yeah, he is. I like SC reviews. He's another Aussie. He's actually, I think he's part Aboriginal or Aboriginal. And he's sticking up for us people here. Deb said, yes, kids here are now cat in school and let them. Oh my goodness. And Heather said yes. And Deb said, Kitty texting friends. Shannon said, what about support Turkins? Keck said, whenever anyone says I'm transitioning, I laugh and ask you on hormones yet, lol. Alex said, I think so too, MJ. I was just trying to find an article about it, but I can't find it now. It's happening though. Some doctors know better than Mangala. Yeah. Shannon's, I don't know what you're talking about over there. Deb said, ooh, they use their hands to bury. Darren said, some doctors are even worse, Alex. Deb said, bring on Trump to get them all. Yep. Darren said, ouch, Shannon. That made me think of catching a nipple in a zip. Because Shannon said zipper tits. Okay. I had to read that one out for context. MJ said, I heard about identifying as handicapped and it blew my mind. I helped elderly and handicapped. Not fun life to struggle. But to go so far, a doctor does no harm. Now I think farm harm. Shannon said, there's something about Mary, lol. Alex said, I know it's deeply disturbing, Darren. MJ said, guys, it wasn't a nipple. And Menacing Muskrat shared Tedros dancing video in his little bike shorts. Shannon said, Fetterman is the hey you guys bloke in Goonies. Alex says, so did I, MJ. I was shocked when I heard that people were doing that to themselves. The world is a deeply sad place full of people so damaged before they even start out. Keck Rangel said, I got this. Fetterman is a PA senator who had a stroke, and now we Frog and others measure the IQ of Democrats' IQ and degrees of Fetterman's. There you go. Selena said, Salty Cracker says that Biden is working on 4 Fettermans. He's on Rumble too. Good. Darren said, oh no, not Salty. Yep. Oh, is it still up? I couldn't find it. I swear to you, I couldn't find it. And when I looked the other day, it said all the videos had been removed. Hang on a sec. Salty Cracker. This is what I get. Oh, hang on, let me unplug it. Salty Cracker, no videos. 818,000 subscribers. That's what I get. That's why I asked. He's not kicked off, but they've pulled all his videos down. Or did he do it? MJ said, Alex, people get addicted to attention, care via nurses and doctors' aides. Oh, isn't that Munchausen's? Isn't that Munchausen's? That's another mental disorder. Is that what we got here? Munchausen's? And then the doctors that are doing it are like Munchausen's by proxy, and the parents that are doing it are Munchausen's by proxy. Heather said, Newsmax saying at Fetterman wife going to take his place. Oh, everyone was saying watch the wives. Wheezy got taken down. Yes, his videos on Sean Atwood. Every time he puts a video up on Sean Atwood throws a defamation at Wheezy and the video gets taken down. I think that's what happened. I'm not 100% sure. If Wheezy's in here, he may be able to let us know. Yeah, Darren Salty's channel has no content. Salty might be taking down his videos himself. I see his channel but no videos. If YouTube talks you out, it says you're not found. I've lost many YouTube channels. Yeah, I lost one too, and my channel was not found. So it could be Salty taking his own videos off YouTube, and I wouldn't blame him, to be honest. Thank you, Shannon, and thank you, Shannon and Deb. MJ said, look at me. Looked me, boom, on the ground. Her big fancy glasses askew. Shannon said, Heb's stuttering. Deja vu. Oh, I do. I get tongue-tied sometimes. Okay, and I've jumped again. Oh, thank you, Luna and Deb. Oh, and Luna again. God love yous. Alex said, yes, I know. I used to deliver medication to people. I came away crying sometimes because I couldn't do more to help people crying in agony left on their own. Oh. Deb said it's the new reality shows. Out to Lunch said, Kecky takes down his live streams, I know, but the short subject videos he has up, or did, I don't think he does now. Out to Lunch, honestly. MJ said, Looney, you are lovely. Keck said, I still can get Salty's channel, but he uses it to call people live over to the other platforms. He took his own videos down. Okay. Because I was confused because I thought it was down, then I realised it's there, but there's no videos on there. And is it YouTube doing it or is it him? Shannon said, funny how Bill Gates has a fake egg company, then chicken farms start spontaneously combusting. Yes, definitely. And thank you, Deb, again. Geoloff said, so just so you guys know, green tea and green tea are the same tea. Black tea has been through oxidation. Oolong tea is different in most cases, however, it's found mixed with a bit of black tea. I don't even know what oolong tea is. Deb said, I hear great, Luna. Shannon said, that's an x-ray of a scrotum whilst walking, Deb. Delay said, Shannon just like his fake milk venture. Out to Lunch said, green tea is plucked when green, right? I don't know. I would have thought that too. and the black tea is dried. I don't know. Oh, I wouldn't have a clue. It might be a different tea plant. I don't know. Deb said, Shannon, and out to lunch said, your cat showed its brown eye tonight. Yeah, exactly. Heather Fullworth said that this is a link to article, many others out there. It didn't come through. Oh, Deb says mooning. Yep, okay, mooning, doing a chocolate starfish, or a brown eye. It's all the same thing. And kids used to do it to cars and things like that. That was like, are you really exposing yourself? Alex said, didn't they start anally swabbing people for COVID and people obliged? Out to lunch said, Ritalin for Joe. Oh, God love you, Shannon. Alex said, awesome, Luna. Darren said, last year we saw something white in the sky we couldn't identify. Now I wonder if it was a Chinese balloon that we weren't aware of. You never know. Geolof said, the tea harvest is done all at the same time. All the leaves, when processed, start out green. A cut of the aggregate is heat dried to create black tea. Basically the moisture left in the green tea. There you go. Deb said, a guy said he saw 3 brown things coming out of that balloon. He was live streaming the balloon. Ooh. Shannon said, here's an opportunity to say, I'm not going to say it. MJ said, probably balloon satellite. David said, got a dash, folks. Time and tide awaits for no man, not even me. Lol, God bless Heather and you all here, present and beyond. You too, David. And Menacing's asking how Socks is. Shannon. MJ said, bye, David. Deb said, well trained as Hev. You got it right, Shannon. Yep, the turkey. Shannon said, Socks is on the mend. Can't wait to get the cone of shame off. Oh, bet. David said, catch you all next time. Cheers. MJ said, Jenny and Penny and Benny. I was going to call them Jenny, Penny and Benny. And then I called them Henny, Penny and Benny. I don't know why. Henny, Penny the chicken? Oh, I don't know. They tried to say they did not tell Trump bales were flying over during the Trump era, but the frogs from 4chan would have seen them during that. He will not divide us. Things were the kids. Darren said, have a good week, David. And loads of fun, said Alex. Enjoy your weekend. Great job, Luna, said Deb. Lanazi said, call the turkey pecker, lol. Yeah. Yeah, he does peck a lot. He knocks on my window with his beak. My bedroom window, too. Finding the Hindu flag wherever Shia LaBeouf hid it, and they found it by using air traffic in the middle of nowhere. MJ said, oh, good point, Hev. I can't remember the point I made. Oh, David said, that's the intention, Alex. That's a great cruise, so it should be fun. MJ said, Lanazi, awesome. Alex said, I have the film ready to watch, David. Out to lunch said, your turkey identifies as a chicken. Yes. He wants in there with them. But I'm too worried about my chickens to let the turkey in there, because I don't know. Keck said, how do you think all these researchers find out all this stuff? Well, it's like Eliza Blue. She mustn't have realised that there are some great detectives online. People are good. Oh, my goodness. Better than the FBI and the police sometimes. Deb's laughing at Lanazi and said, Deb is looking that way out to lunch. Deb said. Keck said, the frog is here to stay. Ain't nothing they can do about it. Yep. Alex said, that's what John McAfee said before he apparently killed himself. Yeah. David said, cool, Alex. We had a lot of fun making that one too. The outtakes were hilarious. Out to lunch said, Keck, Randall grinder dates. Darren said, it won't stop at tasting like turkey, though, out to lunch. Shannon's saying Tinder sauce. Luna said, call the turkey Lenny. Deb said, concrete it. Did you mean the outside of the thing? Because, I don't know, I was thinking of buying some pavers or bricks or something and putting them all along the outside. Shannon said, jerky the turkey. Darren said, notice Andrew Tate hasn't said he's not suicidal. Shannon said, yes, he did. Deb said, yes, he did. Darren said, thanks for the correction. There you go, he did. And Eliza Blue said she was representing Andrew Tate's accusers. Well, I hadn't even met her, apparently. Shannon said he would never commit suicide. Out to lunch said Alex McAfee's widow was a prostitute. She is on the dark post on Rumble 9 a.m. Central weekdays and Saturdays. She is black, kind of pretty, but not my type. Deb said, oh my God, an echo. Alex said, needs to be turned down a bit. Music. Shannon said, couldn't hear the music because of all the beeping. What beeping? What happened? Deb said, yes, sway. MJ said, okay, yep, cool with it. Keck said, I had to turn this down. Sorry, guys, it was loud. Alex said, whoop, whoop, Shannon Spear. Luna said, yes, that was great, Hev. Did you like my really bad dancing? Dara said, I don't know what that music was. It's called How It's Supposed to Feel, 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 Feel. Out to lunch said, yes, heard that. Deb said, now dance. And Heather's dancing. Heather in the comments was dancing, and this Heather was dancing too. Out to lunch said, Darren Brooker rave music. Darren said, not my cup of tea, yeah. MJ said, Hev, I did like that sample. Yeah, I like it too, but there are people in here who don't quite like that, what did you call it? Rave music. Yeah, a little bit. I would have called it house music. Out to lunch said, now I need some X. Alex said that would be great for intermission at that sound level, but if you start playing it as background music, would need turning down a bit. I was playing that with new feature yesterday. Yes. Darren said, no, please don't play that music. Alex said, for content. Oh, that was just an example. Like, I can play a lot softer music, you know. Alex said, did it make you jump, Darren? Shannon said, good luck with that. Darren said, it made me feel anxious, Alex. MJ said, that's not good. Selena said, he's up. You're just country band, Hev. Heads up, you're just country band? What? Deb said, yes, that's what I got. What? They are, that's YouTube music on their studio, so how can that be banned? YouTube? They better not have thrown me a copyright. Because that is YouTube music. Let me just have a look at something here. Have they? Nope. So far, so good, I think. Hang on. Yeah, no, I'm alright. That's YouTube music, so I don't know how they can, Okay, where am I up to? Alex said there are nice chilled tracks too, Darren. Yes, I've got a lot of chilled tracks, yeah. Keck said Salty used it to call us from the live. MJ said, wow, country band, what the... Yeah, I don't see how. It's YouTube audio. It's the YouTube studio audio. So how is it banned in any country? Darren said, I remember Salty said he removes his live after a short time in the hope of escaping the thought police. No, they'll get you even if you have deleted, they will get you for what you said. It's in their terms and conditions. Selena said most videos are taken down. He pulls folks to Rumble. Shannon said Wheezy's left the building. Darren said rock and metal is better. Menacing Muskrat said, Hev, what's the update on the house situation? As far as I know, I didn't get it. I didn't get the house. It's still up for rent. And I've also been told by someone else that that house that I went for, the owner turns up when they feel like it, so it might not be ideal anyway. And because I wrote in the application that I was wanting somewhere peaceful, maybe they thought it wasn't a good idea. I didn't get it. So, and it's still up for rent, so they obviously can't rent it out. I don't know why. Or they're looking for some, I don't know, some special person. I don't know. Oh dear. So yeah, no on the house. There's something better around the corner. That's what I believe. GLF says Salty is doing a tube protest. He doesn't care. Shannon said, where is Kai? He was here earlier. MJ said Kai. Alex said he had to dash off, Shannon. He might be back soon. Deb said, I love Kinnigan and they take him down often. Oh, this is stupid. Seriously? I said, the sooner these sick individuals are put to death by the Lord, the better they'll burn in hell. Yeah. Heather said the link was New York Times, but was on other sites too. Shannon said, herky jerky the perky turkey. Deb's going, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. MJ said, hi eyes. Shannon said, monkey business. Menacing said, Morgan, take care and have a great week. David, take care and have a great week. Deb said, hello eyes. And I said, MJ. And where are we? Eyes said, Alex, did you get my message? Scroll up. D-Lee said, hello eyes. Everyone's saying hello eyes. Deb said, no, I'm being silly. You can't put chicken on concrete. No, I wouldn't put the chicken on the concrete. I was thinking about around the outside, but bricks or concrete pavers or something like that. Things you can move, because I've got to be able, I'm renting here, so I've got to be able to move things if they need moving. Alex said, I saw an interview with McAfee's wife the other week. It was interesting. Hey, Rudy, how you going? 7:09 p.m. Central. Out to lunch, said Rudy. Yeah, it is. Shannon said, if you put concrete on chicken, you get chicken patties. Deb said, 11:41 a.m. Adelaide, almost moist. Deb said, I love house rave music. Whoop. Menacing Muskrat said, shared a link there. Heather said, I'm not good with technology and can't get the link to go in the comment. I think you can't unless you're a mod, I think. I think that's what YouTube used to allow them, but YouTube's breaking themselves. I said, peeps, please check out a 6-minute video from the riots tonight in Liverpool, England. The rats invading, trying to assault a little girl. The YouTuber's Active Patriot UK. Deb said, sorry, I was talking about salty crackers. Alex said, yeah, that's royalty-free music. However, if it's StreamYard, only if you upload your own, but that was a sample from their library, which is royalty-free. So it shouldn't be barred in any country. Hello, YouTube. Hello, people at YouTube. Hello, intelligence agents at YouTube. That is not a censored music. That is in your audio library, you half-wits. Sorry, that was to YouTube guys, not you guys. Alex said, that means there is a better house out there for you. Sounds like they are fussy and will probably never rent it out. Well, it's been there for like 6 months for rent. MJ said, might be nosy landlord or perv, so it might be better to wait. For all I know, they could have cameras all over the place, you know, spying on people. I don't know. Out to lunch said, sometimes here you can rent to own, but owner can sell it right from under you. Oh, God, no. Really? They shouldn't be allowed to do that. If you're renting to own, they should not be allowed to sell it from under you. Unless you're not paying, or I don't know. You know, renege on the deal or something. I don't know. Out to lunch said, Michelle Obama has a penis. Alex said, sorry, eyes, I didn't see it. What did they say? What did it say? Alex said, I've had to go on my phone to charge my laptop, lol. And Heather's gone, yep. Alex said, you can leave a link in the comments. You can? I thought YouTube have stopped people from doing that and only the mods can. I don't know, because a few people have tried to put links in the comments and they haven't been able to. Geolof said, name the turkey Dave, so when people ask you, you can say, hey, Dave's not here, man. Geolof, that's a good one. Alex said, have YouTube half-wits? I said, regarding checking out Active Patriot UK regarding the riots in Liverpool. I saw in Dublin a guy get beaten up because he tried to attack a young girl. Shannon said Michelle Obama has a penis. Alex said, okay, I'll check it out later tomorrow. Eyes to see said, only mods. Alex said, I'm in the comments after, not in the live chat. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. It's been 3 hours and 20 minutes nearly. So I'll be back very shortly. Maybe tomorrow, actually. I don't know if I'll be live or just doing a video, but either way, hopefully you can join me. Yeah, and I hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening. I'm going to check on the chickens. I have got 4 eggs so far. They were laying 1 a day until yesterday and it just stopped. So I'm looking at their food now. Anyway, I'm going to go and see if they've laid any eggs. Okay, guys. Now, I hope the outro works this time. Hang on one sec. Let me see. Ready? Hopefully. Bye, guys. If it works.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going live. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago.